Hi, I'm Angified. I started Angified Presents.
We share the love of music.
It has been medicine and therapy. Nothing else worked.
It has saved many of us. With mental health, we need to open our eyes.
Hurt people hurt people.
We ask that you listen, comprehend, and relate with your ears.
Form that heart of unity and one.
We share on this stage.
Statistics, feelings,
And ourselves.
we stand with the belief to be you, to be heard, and to be original.
We all may be different, with opinions and beliefs.
At the end of the day, we are all brothers and sisters.
We are family.
We ask that you join us in a magical journey with artists from around the world. Open your minds, let in the love,
and listen with your hearts.
We all want a better tomorrow. Be one.
Communicate and look out for one another. And then, and only then, will you find the world.
We will find peace in all the world.
You'll find the world. And you will find in this shining world heroes among us and every boy and girl. Many have been broken, red hearts turn black. Love will melt the ice and turn it back, and you will find the world. You will find the world. You will find the world. And when you find a place called home, where everyone is free to roam, a whole new world, a better place for our children's futures at stake. And you'll find with music in your soul, laughter in your hearts. Together we can grow a better place with love in us all. And you will find together we can save it all. And you will find a place called home, where everyone is free
We cover digital audio workstations and music tools. We explore theory, gear and 82. How to weigh and compose, and the art of arranging. Taking a look at AI and how the times have changed. On a PC or a Mac and even with a mobile device, we'll be talking about it all every Thursday night. From software to plugins and sys that entice. Dive deep into tech and let creativity take flight. Talkin IT. We're talking IT. Come and join in and have some fun. It's highly educational with a lot to learn. From bedroom producers to seasoned pros, we're breaking it down so knowledge grows. Whether you're a DJ or a beat making wizard, we got the tips and tricks to make your sound sizzle. Mixing and mastering, that's our jam. With the tutorials and tips on how much rap. Get the best quality from your setup and gear. Tune in every week and lend us your ear. We're talking IT. Come and join in and have some fun. It's highly educational with a lot to learn. We're talking IT. We're talking IT. Every Thursday night on Angified.
Oh, I got to get that Ange thing down.
Takes practice.
And it's a special Thursday on a Tuesday because Thursday we got gigs.
Got places to be, but that doesn't mean we have to skip the week. It means we can come in early.
No, and we got some cool, important shit we're going to be looking at tonight. Secure IT is what I should have titled it.
Yeah.
I titled it, It's a Hack. It's not a trap.
But hacking, it's important. And that's the thing is we have worked in security. Like we know some things about, computer security and things like that. So there are things that we should know and things that we all need to know.
Yeah, surprisingly, it's not one we've covered in depth. I mean, we've done security nights, but not so much on the hacking side. And quick disclaimer, we are not encouraging or endorsing anything we're going to be talking about tonight. It's about understanding it, especially from a security perspective, because you can't fight something that you don't even know is out there.
And actually one of the courses I signed up for at one point was a white hat hacking course where it was about, being able to hack into a phone and being able to do this and do that. And there's, detailed instructions on all of it. And it's not because you're trying to do anything nefarious. It is basically so that you can recover things for people and things like that. There are reasons why, there are valid reasons in the same way that, there are people who can open locks, like I could open locks as a locksmith, but, not that I am a locksmith, but that I understand how locks work. And if people need to get things behind that door, I can get through that door. That's the way that works.
Yeah. Nowadays, it's so easy for a noob, which we're going to get into that in one of the early videos, but script kiddies nowadays don't even have to know how to script, especially when we start getting into these AI hacking tools. And I'm glad that we're looking at this now and not 2-3 years ago, because things have drastically changed. What got me on this one this week was Defcon was last week, and Defcon is a big event they hold in Vegas where hackers have challenges and they come together to learn new techniques. And I think more importantly, what I like about it is it teaches ethical hacking or ethical hacking. And those who take it serious go there to learn how to work with this stuff, not to take over the world.
Yeah. And again, the best way to counter a potential enemy hack coming in is understanding what that hack is all about. So, understanding the hacks is also about being able to protect yourself from hacks and to understand how to engineer defenses against them.
Yeah, yeah, and it's getting trickier here. We'll jump to the cave. I'll show you how tricky it is.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like an arms race.
Yeah. And to start, before we do get into the hacking stuff, some news that we can't ignore right now. Suno has changed some things in the last week. Crystal covers it. She's actually got a couple of videos. There's a follow-up to this one you should check out after. But this is where when they announced they're going to be doing the watermarking, which is big deal. We knew that was coming.
Right.
But they're also changing their download policies in a very drastic way that is probably going to piss off a lot of people. And if you do have a bunch of Suno songs right now, you want to go mass download anything that you don't want to lose, because you might not be able to download it in a month, even with the pro account, because they're cutting down on things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's the thing is, but some of these, they do that, they can change the terms of service, but it's when they do it where it makes a big difference to everybody, we're in things like that, where if all of a sudden you can't access songs where you could get them before.
When you're not happy with what you're paying for because the terms of service changed and I didn't sign up for this much a month, I might cancel my subscription. But I think Suno's hoping that they've got you so hooked at this point that you're going to live with whatever they do there, which is, I don't like companies. You know how I am about strongholding, strong arming.
Yep.
So Crystal's going to explain what Suno changed, and then we're going to jump over to Andrew Southworth, because Spotify has reacted to this news in an interesting way as well. And Andrew's going to explain like how Spotify is dealing with this and whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. I think he's a little enthusiastic on maybe Spotify might fix some of that AI slop problem they're having at the moment.
Yeah, and that would be good. I mean, something's got to give, right? It just keep getting worse.
The big key in this picture right here is AI persona. So just like those little AI stickers and labels that are coming, so are personas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Then we're going to slide into the hacking portion, and there's a whole bunch of, even for us, we're going to hear terms and things that, trust me, you haven't come across yet, because unless you're trying to protect a whole network out there and getting paid for it, it's hard to know all these exploits. And I've got 3 that deal with understanding hacking from different perspectives. So this one, Privacy Matters, explains every level of hacking, explain the types of hacks that are out there, and penetration testing. Yes, it's not as dirty as it sounds, but it sucks when it happens to your network.
Yeah.
But that's usually what the good guys are doing to get ready for the bad guys,
to find the vulnerabilities. But the problem that I always had with all of that, the physical pen testing, is that in so many cases that you could find, any number of employees in your company that would literally give you their passwords or their badge for a Hershey bar. I mean, they literally did that test where it was like, hey, can I give you a Hershey bar? I just need to get inside for something. I just need to borrow your badge for blah, blah, blah. And, for a chocolate bar or for just a shirt.
It better be a Snickers, because a Hershey ain't enough. Maybe a Crunch.
Something, not just plain chocolate.
And I almost included a video that dealt with the psychology that you're actually easier to hack than your device. And it's funny watching that video. I'm like, you know what? This is why it's so easy to hack the devices, because the human, it's real easy to fool. And with some of these exploits, we're going to see what they're doing nowadays to fool humans is getting scary real.
For sure. And again, the talking about how we're going to see things that we don't even, even as people in the field, we don't recognize it. This stuff changes so fast also that, even if I was staying on top of it like I used to, I would still be, encountering new things all the time because of the speed at which these things are evolving.
Yeah, and these would be things that you recognize going back to the day, the hacking techniques.
Oh yeah, for
And
sure.
these are the core ones. They've been around as long as computers have been connecting.
Yep, absolutely.
Yep. So Cyberflow, this channel kicks real ass on this information. Almost had like half these videos just because they were covering so much stuff I was looking for.
Mm-hmm. Matter of fact, just in recently in cleaning up around here and getting things straightened out, I found some of my old cases of CDs, and in one of them it's like the ERD commander and everything that I would have for like that era of time when I was restoring everything for people back then.
You had some of those hacking tools back in the day.
We needed to. I mean, we were doing corporate tech support at the time, so we had to be able to go in and troubleshoot when there were issues that were beyond usual.
Or get into a Windows that the dumbass user just does not remember the password. Okay, we can fix this, but man, you're making me do some dirty shit to get back into your Windows.
That was even if beyond Windows, even just a file, right? In some cases, somebody like they would ask us about a file. They would say, "Hey, if I put a password on this file, nobody can get into it, right?" And we'd say, "Yes, nobody can get into it." And then they put a password on it, and they forget the password, and they say, "Can you get into it?" And I said, "You asked us if anybody can get into it. We told you no, and now you're asking us to get into it." And we say, "Well, technically, yes, but
again, I'm not saying I can't. I'm saying I'm not sure if I should." Just like breaking into an iPad.
Is it worthwhile for us to do that? Do we need to? Is there something on there that we can't get some other way?
Yeah. I had a client who had an iPad. They got it legit. It was garbage in a car that had been demolished, and nobody came for the iPad. So it was like, hey, you want this iPad? You can get into them, but you do have to technically break some rules to do it. And that's where the hacking tools, this video is going to go into the AI hacking tools that we're now dealing with, which takes all the other things we're talking about into a smart AI approach where it's going to be hard for humans to keep up with that kind of scripting.
Yeah. Well, especially with, just the fact that AI can understand all of those things in that previous video that we're going to go into with all the different methods of hacking. Like it understands all of those. So it understands which ones work in which situations, and it can sit there and pull from that tool bag as it needs to on the fly, so that's where I see that becoming really problematic. The fact that they can adapt that quickly, or the fact that they should be able to adapt that quickly to changing security measures.
It's going to start looking the way Hollywood makes it look, where the hacker's going to be, and they're going into the firewall, and what? They added another firewall. Okay, get around that. That's really what it's going to be like now. Those AIs are going to be changing on the fly as security's trying to keep up with them, and they're trying to get around it. But it's just a smart assistant. Hacker's Arsenal. Another freshie for us. We got some new channels tonight.
Like it.
Yeah, well, for our security subscriptions, these are going to be great ones. And Naomi Brockwell TV, this was another freshie channel, and Defcon. She does an awesome job of showing the anti-surveillance stuff that some of these companies, because with DEFCON, half of it's like hacking camp where there's a bunch of people learning and taking challenges, but it's also like an expo for like, check out this new gear and look at what this can do. And she's got a couple of really powerful anti-surveillance tools that she found in here. That's been making a lot of noise the last couple of weeks. You've been seeing flock camera news the last week and a half. It's not like they weren't there before. Why it's actually becoming a conversation in the last couple of weeks. Multiple reasons, but knowing what's going on there and knowing these tools that are made to counter it. Again, we're not saying this is good or bad. We're saying this is as much available as that technology is.
Yeah. And we've, looking at technology stuff, we've seen things that are, approaching the realm of like an invisibility cloak, for example. If we're talking about defeating, physical camera, facial recognition, things like that. I mean, we have seen things that are bordering on sci-fi when it comes to that stuff. So
I've seen some that will kill all recording equipment in the area. Others that will disable Wi-Fi and internet connections for, which is probably what they use at like Taylor Swift concerts these days, where, yeah, we're not going to take your phone from you, but your phone's not going to work while you're in here.
Yeah, that's the thing, is the logistics of trying to take phones from that many people and get them all back to the right people at the end. I mean, that's a huge nightmare. But I will say that technology essentially comes from emergency services, where they need to be able to block signals. Like if there's a suspected issue about a demolition site or something, or a malfunction or something, they can't have broadcast signals up in there, so they can actually block things across a radius for that kind of thing.
One of the most troubling ones that I saw in the as I've been going the last couple weeks down this rabbit hole is it's a fake cell tower that intercepts all mobile phones within its range. Will say that's the closest cell tower, and I hate to say it, but some of that's being used by legitimate agencies in an attempt to, like, this is the modern wiretapping.
Yeah,
but
it is, and it's more of a wiretap phishing net, where you're basically just you can, everybody going by, you can get a little sample of the data and what have you, and see if any of it sparks any of the alarms that you're trying to track.
But it's a total man in the middle at the cellular level, where everything you're doing to this cell tower that relays it to the real cell tower, everything you're doing in between, it's capturing passwords, it's capturing messages that technically should be encrypted from your device to that cell tower, but they're capturing information that borders on a level of privacy issues that we have not properly legislated yet. The laws on this stuff still changing.
And again, getting the legislators to even understand the technology behind it, or to bring the right people into the room to explain the technology to them. That's a key part of a lot of this, because in a lot of cases, and you can't really blame legislators a lot for it, because that's not really their job to understand this stuff. They need to legislate about this.
It's the same way they're dealing with the social platforms and other technical things. That I was a lawyer. I became a senator because I was a lawyer, not because I'm a technician.
Right. But again, understanding which people they should bring into the room to explain the technology to them, and listening to the people that they bring in, and finding out from people that are relevant and from a lot of different sources. So you're not just basing your opinions on one opinion, but trying to get a consensus from the field.
Trusting your experts there, because when you see these tools, you're going to ask yourself, what happens if that tool's in the wrong hands? Like, this tool's super powerful in Superman's hands, super dangerous in the Joker's hands.
Yeah. And I mean, again, we, when I was working as a network administrator, we knew people who, everybody has access. As a network administrator, I would have access to any file on any machine anywhere in the building, because I have to be able to get that access when somebody loses it, right? So I have all the keys to all the castle, but I only use them to look at files that I should be looking at. So it will, like, the servers will log when someone accesses files that are restricted. And so if you just are, decide to go snooping around and look at, I don't know, salary information or whatever, if you shouldn't be in there, you shouldn't be in there. So don't be in there. And these doesn't mean I'm going to go use them unless there's a reason that needs me to get the file.
And when there is abuse in those kinds of systems, that's part of the problem with the flock situation, because these police data that they call it, capturing all those license plates and everything across the country, they have found tens, if not hundreds of thousands of incidences where police who should not have been accessing this database to look for license plates because their girlfriend's cheating on them or some other shit, that this system is not meant for these things.
Sure.
Part of the reason why there's a lot of controversy over that right now.
Yeah.
The data that's being stored and controlled this way, just like medical data, if it's not properly secured or it's open to those who call themselves a detective, there are going to be abuses of this data and technology.
Yeah.
And
hard to guard against, for sure.
For the last one, it's kind of ironic. You got some of these hackers that went to Defcon and they're going home afterwards, and yeah, I wasn't sure if this was real or not until I got it from the horse's mouth here. Deviant Oleum explains how after the conference, some of those hackers hacked a plane's Wi-Fi, which is kind of scary to think about. You don't know whether you're fucking with something with a plane that could affect its ability to fly.
Yeah. At the same time, I will say it's kind of hard to get a group of hackers, like that together, elite hackers, let's say, like that together, and not have some sort of shenanigans happen. They're gonna try to, oh yeah.
Well, my guess is they were sitting on that plane coming back from that, and like, we learned this, and we learned. I wonder if that would work here. And next thing you know, a plane ride turns into like, wow, this worked.
Yeah, and like you said, you don't know what you're affecting there, so let's be careful with that stuff, shall we?
Yeah. Again, we're not endorsing anything. We're just curious.
It's about being able to fix things. That's where we're at.
Yes. And speaking of curious, Ms. Crystal has been curious about AI and fighting it the whole time, the good battle, and keeping up with this Suno changes the last couple of weeks has really had her on a roller coaster, because like there was one video she's like, I changed my mind about Suno, and it was kind of one of those trick thumbnails where, I mean, she did change her mind, but I wasn't like shocked at what she changed there. It was like, yo, yes, that makes sense, but she's still strong on her feelings about like music. AI especially needs a lot more definition and a lot more explanation, and it does take legal minds to do it. She's been one of the experts that they've consulted. So at Top Music Attorney, I'll put her other channels, Delgado Entertainment Law and Miss Crystal. They'll be in the description. Worth checking all of them. You see the law from different perspectives with the Top Music Attorney and the Delgado. They cover both useful parts of the industry. We're looking to get them to help us get our ducks in a row. But shocking announcement, which it was kind of shocking.
Let's see what it was.
She's good at emphasizing it.
Suno is making a change to its platform I never thought I would see the day. It has to do with downloading the AI songs you create on Suno's platform. I really hope you stretched before this one, because this kind of feels like the biggest backpedal since a politician discovered old tweets. But before we discuss how these changes will work, I want to talk a bit about some of the recent comments I read from Suno's CEO, Mikey Schulman, which he published in a 6-page blog on Suno's website. First, let me say that nothing gets me going more than curling up to read a good old corporate mission statement fluff piece. When I saw this one from Suno, I just had to highlight the heck out of it so I could share it with you. The blog starts with, quote, "We've always believed that how we build matters just as much as what we build." How profound is that? And how true? I mean, look at the pyramids in Egypt. They're tremendous structures, architectural wonders, actually. The fact that it took thousands of slaves to drag each block into place under the searing Egyptian sun, many probably dying in the process, means something. So I totally get where Mikey is coming from. How stuff is made matters. Mikey goes on to say from the beginning, we've held ourselves to a clear set of principles that help us make decisions in a fast-changing environment. A clear set of principles. Now, who can argue with a clear set of principles? They're so important, especially when you're the biggest AI music tech company on the planet. But I have to admit, when I read that, I did wonder exactly what those principles were. Well, whatever they were, apparently Suno has been operating under them for quite some time. The rest of us just didn't know it. But now is the time for Suno to let the rest of us in on the secret. And I know the naysayers out there will say, why is Suno sharing its principles with us just now? Could it have anything to do with the fact that Suno has been sued by the major labels, sued by me on behalf of independent artists? Or how about the fact that Suno just lost a major copyright infringement case in Germany? Nay, I say to all the cynics out there, because if you've got a clear set of principles, then why shouldn't you be free to announce them to the world anytime you choose? But, of course, it's impossible to convince Suno critics of anything. And yes, there are a few out there. Obviously, the timing of Suno's announcement is merely coincidental. For instance, someone commented on Instagram and said this announcement is like a company that spent years dumping toxic waste into the ocean suddenly saying, "We've always cared about the environment, and we are so excited to announce that we are now the official sponsor of Beach Cleanup Day." You guys, I don't think that's very fair. I'm sure the toxic waste dumper didn't write 6 pages of corporate speak, which I'm sure was not generated by AI, to explain how much its cleanup efforts have helped make the ocean a safer place for Flipper and his friends. I ask you, did the toxic waste dumper offer Flipper and his friends grants to improve their fishing skills? I'm sure they did not. I mean, was there even an offer to promote the independent spirit and originality of sea creatures like Flipper? Again, I think the answer is no, so the comparison is totally unfair.
Does the defense's case hold water?
No, the defense is wrong.
It just doesn't hold water. But let's move on because we're about to get to my favorite section of the blog. AI should enable originality, not imitation. I couldn't have said it better myself. In fact, after I read it, I wondered for a second whether somebody at Suno had watched my last video. Probably not, but the timing is interesting. Not as interesting as the timing of the unveiling of Suno's clear principle, but still sort of interesting. But enough about me, let's get back to Mikey. He writes, AI should help people create something new, not imitate someone else's work. And that, from the start, Suno intentionally avoided using artist names in the training metadata because the goal was to help people create original songs, not music that sounds like existing artists. And I don't know about you, but I found that statement to be very reassuring, especially when I heard some of Suno's outputs that were strikingly similar to the works of human artists, like these.
Honorable seatbelts, honorable seatbelts, honorable seatbelts. Taj money, Taj money, Taj money.
Yeah, yeah. What's that on that beat? Oh, what's that on that beat? Oh. What's that on that beat? Oh.
Now, all of these examples were obviously unintentional and merely coincidental, but we're getting off track because the best part is yet to come. Buried in the middle of Mikey's blog post is a statement that says Suno will soon introduce a new limitation on downloads. Yep, they're going semi-walled garden. This is what journalists call burying the lead. And it's a huge change because one of the biggest debates around AI music generation platforms is whether the platform should operate in a so-called walled garden. A walled garden means that users can create music inside the AI platform, but they can't freely export it in an unlimited capacity to the broader music ecosystem, such as to Spotify. Or, aka, you can't download your AI songs from the AI platform. It's a huge deal and something I wrote about in Music Business Worldwide earlier this year. Universal, Warner, Merlin, Udio all have been moving towards this model in different ways, but so far, Suno had not. At this point, you're probably thinking, Crystal, do you think a walled garden is the answer to everything? No, but I definitely think it's needed in my backyard because Katrina keeps stealing the tomatoes from my garden. And apparently Mikey may actually be liking the idea after all.
Let's get Mikey. He likes it. Hey, Mikey.
Suno says for now, the new download policy will only limit users' ability to mass distribute songs on streaming platforms, and I don't think we should assume that before now, Suno allowed mass distribution of AI-generated songs onto streaming platforms. But either way, that's all coming to an end. Download restrictions are coming to Suno. This kind of feels like Philip Morris saying, 1 pack per customer, please. This is definitely news, but in mentioning something that Suno is taking away from its users, I would be remiss if I didn't also mention something that Suno is about to give them. And that's right, Suno is about to offer its users a vinyl pressing service. Users will soon be able to turn AI-generated songs into professionally pressed 12-inch records that can be shipped to their homes. When they arrive, users can take their vinyl out to their garden turntables and play them to their heart's content.
Here's another dusty one for you dusties.
As long as their garden has a wall around it. But that's really more so for the neighbors, not for Suno. Think of how surreal this all is. At this exact moment, courts are still deciding whether some AI outputs may infringe copyrighted works. And now we're talking about pressing those outputs onto physical vinyl records. The lawsuits aren't even over yet, and Suno's already selling collector's editions. I've got to hand it to them though. Some companies might wait for legal clarity before launching any new product offerings, but for Suno, it's out of the frying pan straight to the merch table. And I guess that's why they're a multi-billion-dollar company. Finally, the blog announces community guideline updates. Allegedly, people have been trying to recreate existing songs using other people's voices and likenesses, and even evading Suno's detection systems. But Suno has finally identified the real culprit of all these problems. It's the users, which is actually pretty consistent with Suno's terms of service. If you use the platform and run into any legal trouble, the agreement puts the blame squarely on the user's shoulders through its indemnification provision. So the company builds the AI generates the song, the user clicks a button, and somehow the user ends up needing a lawyer. Which brings me back to the toxic waste dumper comparison I mentioned previously. If the dumper gets hauled into court and is told to clean up the mess it created, there is an easier solution. Just blame Flipper. If you love little sea creatures, type the word Flipper in the comments below. I'm top music attorney, Miss Crystal.
Blame Flipper.
I'm a Flipper fan too.
Gotta love Flipper.
I love that I can read her sarcasm sometimes. Like when she's doing her videos, and she's always good at hitting the points and nailing them. And when she does have that little bit of sarcasm, because she's got a great sense of humor, and when she's talking about these industries and like whether they're being the good guys that are helping to clean up the beach, because that's why Glenn's got a sunburn right now. He was out there cleaning the beach. He's a good guy.
Swimming around the ocean.
But they're coming in after the fact, like a Philip Morrison kind of situation, where imagine if they said 1 pack, that's it.
Yep.
What do you think all those nicotine addicted smokers are going to do? They're going to go bootleg. They're going to buy some other brand. So this is why, as a business strategy, Suno's probably going to change their mind on this a couple of times over the next month.
Yeah. And that's the thing is, it could all change each day. And any of these that become an actual lawsuit and become actual precedent, that can build from there and just become a whole, whether it's a slippery slope or whether it's just, a new problem that wasn't a problem before. These things can come up as suddenly as that.
Yeah, they're kind of dealing with the problems as they see them. It's a very reactive approach we're taking to AI development.
Yeah.
And listening to the description there, where they're training this AI on music. And if we were dealing with a human here, if you were to learn classical music, and could you actually learn Bach, Beethoven, Chopin without knowing who the composers were? Would your education be as properly taught, if you didn't know what was Bach style, what was Beethoven style, I want to be like Nari Soul. I want to understand every composer's style and how I can make this sound like that. That AI needs to be able to recognize what the artist is and what the sound that comes from the artist in a distinguishable way.
Yeah, and that's where, like your example with Nare Soul, when she was going through a particular artist and what was definitive about their style, it was the jumping to the fifths, the big octaves, the low, the doing this over here. Like there were certain elements that she kept highlighting that were definitive of that style. And if you were trying to, if you had several songs sitting there and you listen to each one of them, if you can pick these elements out with your ear, then you could tell that this is a Beethoven song and that's a Bach song.
Well, and I think Suno was more concerned with modern artists where prompters would be like, I want this to sound like Madonna.
Right.
If you're saying I want this to sound Baroque-ish or like Bach, there's no problems out there. Bach's been gone for a long time. But if you start going after artists, especially most recent ones, you've seen that problem with Suno, especially with the 3 and the 4 versions, where that cover feature that they have started to sound like, damn, I know where they got that song from because I know that song.
Yeah. Well, those producer tags, I mean, you can't tell me that those songs were not part of the training data, right? I mean, there's no way that it magically came up with that producer tag. It just out of the ether. No.
It kind of feels like in order for the public to truly trust these AI companies like this, they're going to have to fully disclose their source code. It reminds me of like the Windows days where, yeah, Microsoft didn't reveal that stuff in the early days, but eventually, like, everybody took a look at what was going on under the hood and where this code came from to make sure that there were no shenanigans. And with AI training right now, we have to take the word of a CEO who probably doesn't even know like what that AI was actually trained on. He's taking the word from some programmers.
Yeah, or you never know. I mean, that's the thing is when it comes to things like that, whether whether the training data was knowingly used from things that we knew about and just said, oh, we're not going to tell anybody, or whether it's just not used, or whether somebody down below makes a decision. You don't know where that decision came from in the hierarchy, but at the same time, it doesn't really matter. It's at the point where everything's gotten trained on stuff that's out there. It's kind of the cat out of the bag at this point.
Yeah.
Now you can train things on things that were trained before, and you'll still get some of those elements coming back up.
The toothpaste is not going back in the tube.
No. And that's where actual skills and being able to actually produce music as a person sitting in a place are valuable skills to have going forward, because the more AI becomes slop, the more people are going to want the real thing.
The more AI does this, it's going to define the value you actually have as a creative person. Find that creativity and kick AI's ass. And thank you, Crystal. You are a soldier in humans getting better and hopefully not getting ripped off along the way, because a lot of what she's fighting and working towards is the same thing artists were dealing with before when they were dealing with record companies. Now they're just lost in an AI shuffle with distributors who are holding money and
algorithms.
Yeah. Now our next one is kind of an extension on that, because Spotify, got the news that Suno was doing this and has started to make adjustments to deal with this scenario where Suno watermarks and download capacity, and whether somebody can flood Spotify in the future. It's possible Spotify might have found some solutions to the AI slop.
Possible, but unlikely, I think.
Yeah, I'm crossing one of my fingers. The other one's not convinced. So at Andrew Southworth Worth covers this, and he does have a lot of information on the platforms, especially the musical ones, and how it works freshy for us. And when we do go down these platform rabbit holes, because we have to, there's a few of them that really matter, and Spotify for the musicians out there, kind of the big dog in the music platforms.
Yep.
And what he's going to be pointing out here, this new feature is AI personas. You see that little AI persona under China Styles, and that's probably not a real picture of her. Kind of looks like Rihanna. And watching this got me thinking about, like, it's one thing when you users are using the AI to make the music, but if they're also using it to make their image and their whole musical personality, like, I am not a real artist, I am an AI persona. I understand why this is happening. And, for some people, they get to feel like a rock star without having to do all the drugs and go on tour. But this is this is going to become more of a problem in the future, not less.
Yeah, I believe it. And I mean, I do see, like, there are people who have amazing talent who have tremendous stage fright and could never get out on stage or what have you. And so I can see that some people would have a legitimate reason to want to try to do this, kind of like writing under a pen name or, things like that, where you don't want your actual name associated with what you're actually doing.
And they're making music strictly for digital distribution, to be part of a TV show or on a streaming platform. They're not doing it to go on tour and perform, because that's a different kind of musician who actually wants to do that these days.
Right. And that's the thing, is if people start trying to do that, trying to go on tour as a persona, like, to me, that's taking it a little too far.
Exactly. And we've seen a couple of little examples of that over the last, these fake bands that
testing the waters,
made it big on fake AI bands that all of a sudden turned into, I don't want to say the monkeys, because at least they were musicians, but man, we're going into that kind of situation where people are going to believe that's a real band.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I want to say it was Beato, some of his videos talking about it. I just listened to the Spotify top 10, and is this all AI or what? Like, he's got some crazy takes on some of that stuff.
And what kind of sucks with all this extra AI music that's coming in, it's getting harder and harder to differentiate the human music with it. And a lot of people right now are starting to be like, well, everything sounds like AI. And I've seen
they're afraid
plenty
to like
of examples. Yeah.
They're afraid to like something. I want to like it, but what if it's AI? Then I got to hate it,
Yeah. Some are just like, they take a stance, and I will never thumbs up if that's an AI persona.
So they're hovering like, is it not? No.
Yeah, well, let's see if China Styles is really human.
Spotify just rolled out a brand new update for how they're going to be treating AI-generated music on the platform, and I'm just going to jump straight into it. So they're rolling out this new thing called AI Personas, where, starting today, they're going to allow artists inside of Spotify artists to decide and manually claim if they are an AI persona or not. So you can go in and you can manually say that the project is an AI persona. But they're not only relying on manual disclosure, they're also going to be automatically tagging AI-generated artists. So if you upload AI-generated music to the platform, they're going to just manually tag you, or rather automatically tag you and label you as an AI persona. And as you might be worried about, if you're a human artist, not an AI artist, if you are false flagged, they do have an appeal system to dispute the process. So this was one big worry about them just flagging anything they think is AI generated in the first place, is that there's not going to be any customer support or appeals process, but they did actually put an appeals process in this. And this is what it looks like. So it's not live yet. I have like a pre-rollout thing that I'm filming ahead of time, but this is what it's going to look like in the app. So there's going to be run thing right in under the name of the artist as the AI persona. When you search for the artist name in the search field, it's going to say AI persona next to the name. When you see the song, it says AI persona. When you scroll down into the credit system, it says AI persona. When you look at the artist badges, it says AI persona. So basically, like everywhere you look in the app, with the exception of like this little tiny player down here, it's labeled as AI persona. So essentially everywhere across the app, you'll be able to see if a song, or rather an artist that has a song, is an AI persona or not. And that's only part of the change. This is the change. But the biggest part of this is that if you're labeled as an AI persona, you are now ineligible from editorial playlists, and you're also ineligible from algorithmic playlists, which this one, if you're not gasping, you don't understand what I just said, because this has been the largest problem with AI music on Spotify in particular. Spotify is known for having this great algorithm that can push your music out and multiply it much further than your advertising can possibly do alone. So what happens is you market your music, you trigger the algorithm, and your song gets pushed out way further than it was from that alone. But AI-generated artists have been able to do this at scale and have dozens or hundreds of artists and spend money on all of them and get them all going in the algorithm. And a lot of users have been complaining that their radio algorithmic listeners in the Discover Weekly, in some cases even mostly AI-generated music. So essentially all of that music, if it's flagged as an AI persona, it is ineligible for any algorithmic coverage on the platform, which solves multiple problems. One, it solves users getting AI-generated music that they don't want. Two, it solves that music siphoning money away from the royalty pool. Three, it solves independent artists not getting pushed out algorithmically because they're getting pushed out by AI personas who are getting into the algorithmic playlists. It also makes it harder to kind of mass game the system, which is huge. Now, there is some nuance to this. This is in the public article that should be accompanying this today. The actual website's not out yet when I'm filming this, but I will link to it down below if you want to read the full press release. But it is a little bit more nuanced than this. So they say, although it's a broad spectrum now, artists use AI as a creative tool, the question of whether a profile represents an actual human is one where Spotify can help make a clear determination. The badge is about an artist's public identity, not about how the music was made. And so what that means is if you are a human that is using AI as part of your process, right? You have these old songs that you're running through Suno, and like you wrote the song, you did this, and you're uploading it under your own name, or you're just writing lyrics and prompting songs and uploading under your own name. Like that's the actual issue Spotify has, is the problem of someone flooding the market with dozens of random artists with fake pictures, whatever. So if you're releasing music under your own name and you're not like just flooding it, then they don't have a problem with you, it seems, because the issue is actually about like that, which is the vast majority of the problem, right? Like I'm sure some people are still going to be mad and say that they're mad that AI music's allowed on the platform at all, but this solves the problem. This means that if you're like a creative person who has some unique workflow with AI, or even if you're not creative and you're just doing it for fun, you can still exist on the platform. It's just you're going to be throttled in all these weird ways, but it still allows you to do the thing. So if your only objective was to do this for money, you kind of can't anymore. You can only do it if you're actually in it for the right reasons, which to me is more than good enough. Now, the news is actually even worse if you're an AI artist. Essentially, Suno has also come in and produced all these little ways to kind of throttle AI music. One, recently they announced some watermarking, so they're going to be watermarking every song that's created so that's easier for platforms to identify what's AI and what's not. But also they announced that they're going to be throttling the amount of downloads you can have. And I didn't think it was going to be this severe. I thought it might be, you can generate 2,000 songs a month. Maybe you can download 500 or 1,000 a month or something. Like something where you can have way more than you need, but it's still like a lot. And it's not. It's actually like super limiting. For example, starting September 3rd, if you have the Pro plan, which is the most common one, people pay like $20 a month, you can download 20 songs per month. So essentially it's $1 per song to download, which also really solves the problem of if your only game in this was to download hundreds of songs and distribute them every month, you can't do that anymore. The only way you could do that is if you created dozens or hundreds of different Suno accounts all paying that amount of money per month, which means you're going to be paying $1 per song download, which kind of makes the whole thing, like, at least if the aim is to upload this on Spotify and get the algorithm triggered, it kills that whole model. So if you're a human artist like me, you are probably absolutely thrilled. In my opinion, this allows all the people who actually were just having fun or found some unique creative AI workflow to make music to still exist and to still even monetize their music and to have it on all these platforms that market it, while leveling the playing field for us human artists who can't make 1,000 songs a month, right? Like I need like weeks at least to work on a single song, whereas an AI artist can crank out 100 in a day, no problem. So now it's just like even 20 songs a month for downloading on Suno is plenty of music for someone to download and release, right? That's more music than any human artist would ever be able to release. But it still levels the playing field in such a significant way that overall, like, massive win for Spotify. And also big, I mean, I'm sure Suno is going to take a huge hit from this, but at least it makes it give the impression like, okay, they're watermarking their tracks, they're starting to play fair with some major labels they've made deals with, and they're severely throttling the download. So like they're playing ball now. They still have a huge amount of runway to go in terms of like actually paying artists and getting permission for training their music. But this is a big step in the right direction. So hopefully this just continues, because in my opinion, if any of these AI platforms want to exist and not go the way of LimeWire, then they need to find a way to make artists happy. And this, well, no one's happy with Suno. I think most artists can be happy that this is a step in the right direction for them. So anyways, if you're a human artist and you want to see how you can promote your music here, or if you're an AI artist that's still releasing your music despite all these changes, check out this video right here to see my entire process from writing music on Spotify or other streaming platforms from start to finish. If you want to see whatever YouTube thinks you should watch, check this video right here and make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss my next upload. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Oh, I chuckled too when you said LimeWire.
Exactly.
Good observations that he's got with I like that he's being enthusiastic. Yes, these changes need to happen before the distribution and the money shifting that we already see problems with that in the distributor side of things. AI is not helping to get artists their money that they should be getting from Spotify to DistroKid to them.
Yeah, for sure. Got to figure out better ways to get all that whole system together. But it's changing so fast and it's growing so fast. We really do need to get a handle on it.
Well, and having the downloads limited on the Suno side, especially if you start having to pay $1 for this, is like iTunes 3.0 now with AI.
Yeah, whenever we get into the pay structure, I just I'm out.
The reality is people don't pay for music typically nowadays. It's not the same market that it used to be. They'll play the songs, they'll stream them, and yes, the artists get paid that way depending on how they do things. But selling a song, your hardcore fans will buy them. The ones who are supporting you, not actually to get access to the song, because let's face it, media is out there.
Yeah. They don't
Supporting
have to
the
buy this.
artist who makes the media is why you buy their album.
Or go to the show, buy the merch. Yeah, all of it.
Yeah. Merch is definitely still relevant.
That's why it's always good to have a merch store.
Yeah, and they got to make better merch. And Andrew, great coverage on this. The platform talk, we're going to be doing more of that. And you've got some great information on here. I'll be checking you out.
Yep.
At Andrew Southworth.
All right.
Now we're getting into the hacking, because
where's my hacking hat?
Yeah, I need to. It better be white.
Yeah, it's white.
Or possibly red. I was a red hat administrator for. I'm certified in red.
You wear the red one, I'll wear the white one. And I'll leave the black Stetson on the hat on the stand.
Hey, that we use those in special situations.
Exactly.
Not that we're encouraging any of that. Again, reminder, disclaimer. Everything we're going to talk about is for educational purposes, not to take over the world.
Right.
And at Privacy Matters 517 understands what I'm talking about there, because privacy does matter. The whole reason I go down these rabbit holes isn't just to know the security I'm dealing with and things. It's to know what's going on with the information that I know is on every device.
Exactly. And that man in the middle attack on the cell towers, that's an interesting one.
Yeah, and we're gonna look at the attacks, the hackers themselves, and to start, this is every level of hacking explained in 8 minutes. And these are the different types of hackers that are out there, and why they choose certain hacks for certain situations.
Sure.
They're not all evil.
Nope.
Phishing. Phishing is when hackers trick you into giving them your personal information by pretending to be someone you trust, like your bank or a social media site. They might send you fake emails or messages that look real but aren't. Spear phishing. Spear phishing is a more targeted version of phishing. Instead of sending out generic fake messages.
Level 0. The noob, aka your friend who fixed your Wi-Fi password. You know this person all too well. They stumbled upon your neighbor's Wi-Fi password, and now they're convinced they're the next Morpheus from the Matrix, dodging digital bullets in a trench coat of their own imagination. Their hacking education, a single episode of Mr. Robot, and a crash course in outdated tech lingo like mainframe and firewall, used with zero irony. Their greatest triumph? Changing their Instagram username to Cyber Ninja and flooding their feed with command prompt screenshots captioned, "Just hacked NASA." They might even brag about cracking a CAPTCHA, blissfully unaware it's just a bot test. Level 1, the script kiddie, aka the human copy-paste machine. These digital wannabes have just discovered GitHub and believe downloading someone else's code transforms them into elite hackers overnight. They execute scripts they can't even read, shamelessly claiming credit for exploits crafted by real coders, and their desktops are a chaotic wasteland. Their vocabulary is a glorious mess of pwned, noob, and aggressive keyboard smashes meant to terrify their little sister. They might even record themselves hacking with dramatic music, only to accidentally format their hard drive. Fun fact, they've probably locked themselves out of their own computer more times than they've successfully hacked anything, turning their PC into a digital fortress they can't breach. Level 2, the ethical hacker, aka I swear I'm one of the good guys. Step into the noble realm of white hats and high-minded intentions. These budding hackers have realized that staying legal is not only ethical, but pretty cool. They're knee-deep in studying for their CEH certification, setting up home labs with racks of servers that cost more than their car, and patiently explaining to their parents for the 47th time that yes, their late-night typing is a legit career move, and no, they won't end up in handcuffs. They might even volunteer at local hackathons to prove their goodwill, armed with a laptop with Kali Linux on. Their biggest struggle? Trying to look cool at parties while admitting they're the boring kind of hacker who patches vulnerabilities for companies instead of pulling off heists. Level 3. The penetration testing professional, aka I got the license to hack person. These are the hackers who've hit the big leagues. They trade hoodies for business casual, polish up LinkedIn profiles with buzzwords like ethical hacking expert, and can explain the intricacies of SQL injection to a board of directors without a single pwn slipping out. They've achieved the holy grail, a paycheck for thinking like a criminal while keeping their record spotless. Their days involve stress testing corporate firewalls and dodging HR's endless compliance forms. But here's the kicker. They spend 80% of their time drafting detailed reports that executives skim for 2 seconds, justifying why that one critical vulnerability could sink the company, and fighting the urge to scream when a clueless manager asks if they can just hack the competition real quick to gain an edge. Before I move on to the next level, what if you wanted to protect yourself from hackers no matter their skill level? Take SIM swap attacks for instance. This is a very powerful hacking tactic that can ruin your life, because some hacker can basically steal your phone number to hijack and get instant access to your accounts. So how does it happen? Hackers target your phone number by tricking your carrier, often with stolen personal info like your name or address, grabbed from data breaches. They pose as you, claiming a lost or damaged SIM, and convince the carrier to reassign your number to a new SIM they control. Crazy. Once they've got it, they intercept your calls, texts, and two-factor authentication codes, unlocking your accounts, banking, email, you name it, all in minutes. It's a tactic used by both script kiddies and pro hackers. That's why I'm so glad that a mobile carrier such as Cape exists. Unlike traditional telecom giants that profit off your personal data, Cape was built from the ground up to protect it. Although it's currently in beta, Cape already provides advanced protections against SIM swaps, metadata leaks, and advanced threats. Cape ensures your mobile security starts at the network level. No data selling, no invasive profiling, just secure, private connectivity trusted by leaders in cybersecurity, and super easy to get started in 3 simple steps. By the way, try Cape risk-free for just $1.50 for your first month. If you like it, then use my 33% off code for the first 6 months of Cape. Make sure to check out the link in the description. Level 4, the Bug Bounty Hunter, aka living the digital dream, sort of. These modern-day bounty hunters roam from coffee shop to coffee shop, laptops glowing, hunting vulnerabilities in major websites for a payout. They're the Instagram idols of the hacking world, sipping lattes while raking in bug bounties, or so the story goes. In reality, for every $10,000 jackpot tale you hear, thousands of researchers grind for months, sifting through code for a measly $50 reward just to afford their next caffeine fix. They might even camp out at a 24-hour diner, fueled by energy drinks and desperation. They've perfected the art of looking insanely busy, headphones on, fingers flying, while secretly debating if that potential XSS vulnerability is worth another 14-hour debugging marathon. Their browser bookmarks, a wild 90% testing tools, and 10% therapy websites to cope with the grind. Level 5, the Red Teamer, aka the Hacking Ninjas. These seasoned pros are the cyber equivalent of a SWAT team, trained to storm corporate defenses with precision. They craft sophisticated attacks, think spear phishing emails, custom malware, and zero-day exploits, pushing security to its limits. Their battle scars come from late-night ops, like a 3 a.m. drill where they cracked a network in under an hour. Their war tales? Triumphs like outsmarting a firewall with a rogue USB drop, and epic fails, like the rookie who triggered a real alarm during a test. They know the IT crew will scramble, but they also know Sarah from HR will click that fake bonus check email, even at this ungodly hour. They've ditched the dream of impenetrable systems, embracing the thrill of chaos instead, fueled by midnight energy shots to keep the pressure on. Level 6, the nation-state operative, aka my job doesn't exist on LinkedIn. We're venturing into shadowy territory, where job descriptions are locked in classified vaults and coffee meetings occur in soundproof rooms with armed guards. These hackers work for governments, juggling security clearances that require more paperwork than a home mortgage and can't even hint to their spouse what they did at work. Vague murmurs of office stuff are their go-to excuse. Their missions might involve tapping into enemy networks or planting digital tripwires. They operate in the silent trenches of international cyber warfare, where a single line of code can shift geopolitical power or spark a global crisis. Their skills are the stuff of legend, their existence is whispered about in conspiracy circles, and their stress levels are likely astronomical, fueled by the weight of national security. Level 7, the APT Group Leader, aka the Legendary Hackers. These are the masterminds orchestrating advanced persistent threats, attacks that unfold over years, not hours, with the precision of a grand chess master. They're patient, methodical, and always 3 moves ahead, plotting in secret while script kiddies flail at defacing websites with neon graffiti. Their strategies are jaw-dropping, infiltrating a power grid to cause blackouts, slipping into a bank's core systems to siphon millions, or embedding spyware in government networks, all while leaving no digital footprint until the damage erupts. Just last night, one group allegedly compromised a European energy firm, a move still under investigation. Their war stories are the stuff of legend, pulling off a multi-year espionage campaign against a rival nation, raking in a $50 million ransomware payout, and a near miss when a careless team member almost leaked a chat log to the NSA. They coordinate teams across continents, coders in Asia, social engineers in Europe, and malware experts in South America, maintaining operational security so tight it would make James Bond jealous. With encrypted comms and burner devices swapped like candy, their campaigns are so sophisticated that their unmasking, like the 2021 SolarWinds revelation, sends shockwaves through international headlines, leaving governments scrambling. They know the feds are on their tail, but they also know Jenny from compliance will still fall for that urgent tax refund email, even now. They're the final bosses of the hacking world, pulling strings from the digital shadows with a cool, calculated demeanor, sipping espresso as the world burns.
Damn it, why do you keep letting Jenny get email?
We've tried to take our email away so many times. Sometimes we have to reset Bob's password. It's Bob. It's Bob. Come on.
And you better fire that team member that leaked shit to the NSA. Shame on him.
And doesn't have to be a latte, but it should be a Dunkin'.
Yeah, make it a double.
Yeah, thank you.
With all those different levels, I mean, some of those we have been. When you get towards the bottom, it's like, okay, I'm not saying I didn't do a job that I have to kill you if I tell you what I did, but
But
when
I'm not supposed to tell you what I did.
well, I've signed some NSAs.
Yep, non-disclosure agreements, NDAs for the NSA, sure.
Not because I was doing anything wrong. I just couldn't share what I was doing.
We're just not supposed to talk about what I was doing. That's all. They said as long as you don't talk about what you were doing.
Yeah, and I'm not that last level that's trying to Dr. Evil that shit, because
But I think we're both a couple steps down from the top one there too. Yeah.
that is where the difference between like responsible understanding it as I was paid to do penetration tests, and I had to explain SQL injections for fucking 4 years to the programmers and the bosses. Like, you don't understand, like, websites can get taken down through this shit. You need to prepare.
Yeah. And that's the thing is in some of those cases, in order to convince them, you would need to literally do it. You would need to literally like show them, this is me hacking the website and showing you that I can do this,
You know what got their attention? DoD attacks. Like after a decade of that shit, they were like, we need Cloudflare and like some solutions to actually deal with. Some companies are in constant attack from hackers.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And in some cases, those attacks keep morphing and they keep getting more sophisticated as time goes on. And especially now, again, with AI starting to orchestrate some of these things, like it can take all the different aspects, all the different angles of attack that we've talked about, and just try all of them in different scenarios to try to get past everything, because there is a tool to get past each of the doors that are in the way.
Yes. For every prevention, there's a workaround. And that's technically what hacking means. It's all about like being MacGyver and saying, this piece of bubble gum and this string, I'm going to get out of this prison.
and all it takes is the email to Jenny. Again, that's all we need.
Yeah, thank God I went to high school with her, and she saw me on Facebook, and I got into the company real easy.
And then I went down to the company. I said, "Hey, I got a chocolate bar for your password." And boom, I got a badge. I got right inside.
Some of them like donuts too. That's another approach.
Oh, man, I saw a sign for like the Jersey Shore's best jelly donut, and I saw the picture, and I'm like, God damn, I really got to stop for that. But I didn't.
That's a hell of a claim.
It is a hell of a claim. I've had some mighty good jelly donuts in New Jersey, but I do have to, I can't have them all the time for sure. They are delicious though.
In moderation. And
Moderation.
at Privacy Matters 517, in moderation.
Oh yeah.
We will learn these security exploits.
Yes. And again, the most important thing is that, to me, the most important reason to know about the exploits is to know that people will be trying to use these exploits on you or on your systems, and you need to know how to respond. Yeah.
I don't want to deal with this in this network or in that network. Certain networks, you got to protect your nest.
Yep. Even if you got to air gap it.
Yeah. Air gap it. Ooh. That sounds serious.
Oh yeah.
And this channel definitely very serious when it comes to cybersecurity, because man, there's a bunch of them I wanted to jump into tonight, but at Cyberflow 10, Yes, you are providing education on cybersecurity, and this one explains the techniques that these different tiered. Because ironically, nowadays the noob can pull off some impressive techniques
Oh, yeah.
if they get the right script from the right website.
Mhm.
And the script websites, that's another thing. Like I used to really keep up in the 90s and 2000s whenever there was new code getting out there, there were certain sites that yes, they are propagating the script, but at the same time, it's was useful to know like this is what they're going to try to do to our servers. So we need to counter that script, and this is why viruses like 0 day is the big thing. Ooh, if you can get it out there in 0 day and do some damage, because by the next day it's already a profile in Microsoft's antivirus. And
Yeah.
who's the other ones now? McAfee's still around, right?
Yeah. I mean, we used to see Norton sometimes, right? And all that.
And Norton, I had the whole suite with
Desktop, so
Norton.
did I. Norton Desktop Commander, even at one point, you know?
Yeah, I did like that commander.
Oh, yeah.
As long as it doesn't hack me. So Cyberflow is going to show us the techniques that these noobs and evil geniuses use.
Mm-hmm. Easier and easier.
With great power, with great hacking, comes security.
Security.
All right, I got to make sure it's the right one. This is hacking technique. Yeah, they're a little out of order.
You're out of order.
I can't handle the truth.
Exactly.
No, this ain't it either.
Mm. The spyware must have got in there.
Ah, here we go.
Phishing. Phishing is when hackers trick you into giving them your personal information by pretending to be someone you trust, like your bank or a social media site. They might send you fake emails or messages that look real but aren't. Spear phishing. Spear phishing is a more targeted version of phishing. Instead of sending out generic fake messages, hackers aim their attacks at specific people or companies. They often know a lot about their target, making their messages even more convincing. Whaling. Whaling is fishing for the big fish. Important people like CEOs or executives. Hackers craft highly personalized messages to trick these high-profile targets into revealing sensitive information. Malware. Malware is bad software designed to harm your computer or steal your information. It includes things like viruses, Trojans, and ransomware. Think of it as a digital disease that infects your computer. Ransomware. Ransomware locks up your files or system and demands money to unlock them. It's like a digital kidnapper holding your data hostage until you pay a ransom. Spyware. Spyware secretly watches what you do on your computer and sends that information to the hacker. It can track your keystrokes, capture screenshots, or even turn on your webcam without you knowing. Trojan horse. A Trojan horse is software that looks useful or fun but hides harmful code. Once you install it, the hidden malware inside can take over your computer. It's like opening a friendly-looking gift that has a nasty surprise inside. Worms. Worms are programs that copy themselves and spread across networks without any help from you. They move from computer to computer, causing damage along the way, like a digital pest infestation. SQL injection. SQL injection is a trick hackers use to get into a website's database by inserting malicious code. This can let them steal, change, or delete data. It's like finding a backdoor into a secure building. Cross-site scripting, XSS. XSS is when hackers put harmful code into a website, which then runs in your browser when you visit. This can steal your information or hijack your session. Denial of service, DOS, and distributed denial of service, DDoS. DOS and DDoS attacks flood a website or network with so much traffic that it crashes and stops working. Man in the middle, MITM. In an MITM attack, hackers secretly intercept communication between two parties. They can steal or change the information being exchanged, like someone eavesdropping on your phone call and altering what's being said. Brute force attack. Brute force attacks are all about guessing passwords. Hackers try every possible combination until they get the right one. It's like trying every key on a keyring until you find the one that opens the door. Credential stuffing. Hackers use stolen usernames and passwords from one site to try and log in to other sites, betting that people use the same passwords everywhere. Zero-day exploit. A zero-day exploit takes advantage of a security flaw that no one knew about before. It's like discovering and using a secret weak spot in a fortress before anyone else realizes it's there. Social engineering. Social engineering tricks people into giving away their personal information or doing something they shouldn't. Hackers might pretend to be someone you trust or create a sense of urgency to get you to act quickly. Keylogging. Keyloggers record everything you type on your keyboard, capturing passwords and other sensitive info. It's like having someone secretly watching over your shoulder and writing down everything you say. Session hijacking. Session hijacking takes over a user's session after they've logged into a secure system. Hackers can then pretend to be that user and access their data. DNS spoofing. DNS spoofing tricks your computer into connecting to a fake website instead of the real one. It's like changing the road signs to send you to the wrong place without you knowing. Watering hole attack. In a watering hole attack, hackers infect a website that a particular group of people often visit. When the group members visit the site, their computers get infected. It's like poisoning a common drinking spot to affect everyone who goes there. Clickjacking. Clickjacking hides malicious actions under legitimate buttons or links on a website. When you click, you end up doing something harmful without realizing it. It's like placing a fake button over a trapdoor. Rogue software. Rogue software pretends to be helpful, like fake antivirus programs, but it's actually harmful. It tricks you into installing it and then causes damage or steals your data. Eavesdropping. Eavesdropping attacks listen in on private communications, stealing information as it's sent. Exploit kits. Exploit kits are tools that automate the process of finding and exploiting vulnerabilities in software. Hackers use these kits to launch multiple attacks quickly. Drive-by download. Drive-by downloads happen when you visit a compromised website and malicious software is downloaded to your computer without your knowledge. It's like stepping on a nail while walking and getting hurt without realizing it. Rootkits. Rootkits are programs that give hackers control over your computer without you knowing. They hide deep within your system, making them hard to detect. Backdoor. A backdoor is a hidden way into a system that bypasses normal security checks. Hackers use backdoors to sneak in without setting off alarms. Botnets. Botnets are networks of infected computers controlled by hackers. They can be used to launch large-scale attacks or send out spam emails. Password spraying. Password spraying is when hackers try a few common passwords on many accounts instead of trying many passwords on one account. It's like testing a few popular keys on many locks, hoping one will fit. Cryptojacking. Cryptojacking secretly uses your computer's resources to mine cryptocurrency. You might not even notice, except that your computer is running slower. Firmware hacking. Firmware hacking targets the low-level software that controls hardware components. It can give hackers deep access to your system. 32. Cross-site request forgery, CSRF. CSRF tricks you into performing actions on a website you're logged into without your knowledge. It's like having someone forge your signature to authorize a transaction. Privilege escalation. Privilege escalation is when hackers gain higher access levels than they're supposed to have. This can allow them to control more of the system. It's like finding a janitor's key that opens all the doors in a building. 34. Command injection. Command injection lets hackers run dangerous commands on a server by exploiting poorly coded applications. It's like finding a way to slip instructions to a machine that it wasn't meant to follow. Session fixation. Session fixation forces a user to use a specific session ID, which the hacker can then hijack. It's like assigning someone a ticket that you can later claim and use yourself. Shoulder surfing. Shoulder surfing is the simple act of looking over someone's shoulder to see what they're typing or viewing. Blue snarfing. Blue snarfing is the unauthorized access of information from a Bluetooth-enabled device. Hackers can steal contacts, messages, or files without you knowing. Bluejacking. Bluejacking sends unsolicited messages to Bluetooth-enabled devices. It doesn't steal information, but can be annoying and intrusive. It's like slipping a note to someone without their consent. Scene swapping. SIM swapping tricks your phone provider into transferring your phone number to a hacker SIM card. This lets them intercept your messages and calls. Jailbreaking/rooting. Jailbreaking or rooting removes software restrictions on a device, giving the user or hacker full control over the system. Stay safe and see you next time.
Oh, that's such a mellow track to go out on after you scare the shit out of me.
I think my favorite one was blue snarfing.
I was gonna say, I know you probably dealt with almost all of those, but blue snarfing had to be new.
Snarf. I mean, you got
Right. And Bluetooth hacks, because I've dealt with almost like 95% of those in real life situations. The Bluetooth ones, that's more a like last 15, 20 years thing. And if you're dealing with like going to a Starbucks and shit, and like your Bluetooth security, in some cases, you definitely should like turn that shit off when you go into Starbucks, because somebody's gonna snarf you.
Yeah, see, to me, it's just, if I'm not actively using the Bluetooth, it's off. It doesn't
Yeah.
need to be on.
And that's where it gets into like good responsible device setup. Like if you don't need to have something wirelessly transmitting because you're not using it, by all means turn that shit off. You're gonna be at least this much more secure.
Exactly.
You're still connecting to the internet, so you're fucked, but at least how you connect and what you're connecting through is less intrusive if you turn off the things that don't need to communicate.
Yeah, you're a less simple target for them, as they're, if they're just driving by, they'll get, that guy and that guy before they'll get you,
Yeah, and unfortunately, when it comes to mobile, nobody's even like, I just want my phone to work when I use it. I'm not going to turn it on and off or flip the Bluetooth on and off. Most people won't do that with their mobile devices.
Yeah, and the thing is, to me, it's I really don't use Bluetooth very much. So like for me, when I go to use Bluetooth, I'll go turn it on, use it. But like when in the days where I used to wear
you don't have Bluetooth headsets?
I will not talk on the phone. So,
but if you're jogging, Glenn's running down the beach, getting a sunburn, you listen on.
No, I actually I haven't had earphones in to listen to music in a long time either. But it was the the collar where it was like a piece that you wear around that has like the batteries in the neck, and then the earbuds just pop up into the ears.
Yeah, I like that design. I'd rather have it come up like that than this shit gets tangled and shit.
Like you mentioned about running. I mean, running, you're not going to run with something like this on your head. And if you're running with one of those where it's all on the ears, that's a lot of bounce on your ears, right? So this is with the collar. I mean, the collar bounces up and down too, but it would be easier to have that kind of, tamp down and just a light earbuds in the ears.
Yeah.
But the important thing is I really just don't listen to music on the run like that. Like I would normally be listening in the car, listening in the house, but not so much on the mobile. And I will not play music through the speaker on my phone. I will not walk around on speakerphone. I know people who do that, and it drives me berserk. If somebody's walking around and they're having a phone conversation, and I have to hear both ends of that phone conversation, I want to slap them because I don't want to hear anything to do with the phone. But that's just
Glenn has standards.
I do. And again, a lot of it has to do with the career in tech support. I spent 20 some years in technical support, and after getting done dealing with people's problems all day and on the phone all day, then you go home and you get the phone calls from your friends and family who need tech support. So you can spend all of your life on the phone. So when you get done with that career, you are not getting on that phone unless you absolutely have to.
It was 24-hour tech support.
Yes.
It still is.
It still is. I mean, it always has been. And the thing is that there are less people who try to call me at this point because everybody knows that they can't get through. If they have to talk to me, if they need something like that, I will do that. But they will text me and say, hey, can you call? I need to do blah, blah, blah. And that's fine. Now I know what we're getting into. We can plan time for it and do it. But the whole, hey, how you doing? Oh, and by the way, when I click on this and that, like luckily those days are behind us now. So that's good.
You're not a freestyler.
I mean, that's the thing is I had, I had many hours of my life where I spent on the phone going through the same set of screens or the same conversation or describing the same reason why you can't just click on.
Imagine if you were on salary dealing with this, because this ain't the same kind of shit we dealt with.
No.
Those different attacks there, if I had to deal with that now and the frequency of them, it's a 24-hour job. Like, I need a team of people watching this shit.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to the web server side of things, the data side, the web servers themselves. When a company goes down, even for a couple of hours,
Yeah.
they can lose a lot of money that way.
Absolutely. And that's the thing is it is big responsibility too. So, with the great power comes the great responsibility. And that also means if there is a big problem, it's your butt on the line for, to get it all handled. If it's your department, you're the one, your responsibility. In my case, I was never like the top of my department anywhere that I really was, but I was always, the guy
you were always the tallest.
Always the tallest. And I was always the guy that people would come to if they had something weird going on or they, hey, let me bounce something off you. And they, tell me about it, and I'd be like, oh, well, it sounds similar to whatever. Like, they understood that I had seen something similar to that before, or had some suggestions on how I would troubleshoot it that might be different than what they were thinking about, for example.
Yeah. Glenn thinks out the box. He can't fit in it.
Yeah, I think we need a bigger box.
At Cyberflow 10, definitely helped my box to grow a little bigger there. There's a few attacks in there that they're never heard of them, haven't dealt with them. The data side ones, yes, still fighting that battle.
And as you said, human engineering is the one that's it's the hardest one to fight, and it's the one that's always going to get the companies at the end because.
But what about when you're dealing with computer engineering, which this next one, damn Glenn, good leading. This next one is about when the AI is starting to do the attacking. Humans can't keep up defending at that point.
Yeah, it's tricky. I mean, it's an arms race.
Yeah, this is the 21st century arms race. Was mustard gas 100 years ago. Now it's AI. And at Hacker Arsenal 53, all these freshies. Go figure. We had to go find new channels to cover hacking.
Good stuff.
And I do have the curiosity. They've got the arsenal. All right. Don't make me do anything bad, though. I just want to know what it is.
Just a smart assistant.
As long as it's not held against me when I use it. There we go. I got the right one, Glenn.
Nice.
Disclaimer. This video is for educational and informational purposes only. We do not promote or support any form of illegal hacking or unauthorized access. The goal is to raise awareness about how artificial intelligence is evolving in cybersecurity, both for attackers and defenders. Always use your skills ethically, responsibly, and within the boundaries of the law. Hacking without permission is a crime. Learn to defend, not to destroy. The rules of hacking have changed, and those still stuck in the past are already losing. In the shadows of the digital world, knowledge is power, and speed is survival. Today, the smartest hackers don't just rely on tools, they build intelligence into their every move. Artificial intelligence isn't the future of hacking. It's the secret weapon of the present. AI can scan millions of endpoints in seconds, generate undetectable payloads, mimic human behavior to craft perfect phishing attacks, and even predict a system's weakest point before it's ever touched. It's not just about finding flaws anymore. It's about thinking faster, deeper, and deadlier. AI doesn't get tired. It doesn't take breaks. And it never stops learning. Every second, it's analyzing data, spotting patterns, and adapting to new environments. Unlike humans, it doesn't miss details or make emotional decisions. For hackers, AI is more than just a smart assistant. It's like having a supercomputer mind working by your side. It can boost your skills, automate your tasks, and help you move through systems with incredible speed and precision. In the hands of a skilled hacker, AI becomes a game changer, a powerful engine that transforms you into a digital predator, one who can think faster, strike smarter, and stay way ahead of the target. Now let's talk about the real power moves, the tools that make AI a weapon in the hands of a hacker, not just scripts and payloads. I'm talking about intelligent systems that think, learn, and act. It all starts with powerful language models like ChatGPT, Bard, and open-source tools like GPT-4all, LLama, and Mistral. But the world of AI is growing fast. New players like Claude from Anthropic, Gemini by Google, Command R by Cohere, and Grok by xAI are changing the game with smarter, faster, real-time capabilities. For developers, tools like DeepSeek and Wizard Coder help generate complex code and even find security flaws. And in the darker corners of the internet, AI models like WormGPT, FraudGPT, and custom-trained LLM models are being used to create malware, write phishing attacks, and automate hacking like never before. Ethical hackers use them to write Python scripts for automation, decode obfuscated code, or generate custom payloads using tools like prompt inject or shellgen. But on the darker side, attackers leverage jailbreak prompts, use WormGPT or underground clones like Darkbert to write ransomware, phishing kits, or full attack chains without typing a single exploit by hand. Platforms like ReconNG, Spiderfoot HX, and Maltego get supercharged with AI plugins and automation. They scan, sort, and map entire digital footprints fast. Ethical hackers use them to scope targets. Malicious actors use tools like Photon, Snoint, and even custom GPT bots to build psychological profiles before the first exploit is even launched. And let's not forget about Burp Suite, the king of web application testing. Now, with AI-assisted extensions like Burp GPT, Autorize AI, and Flow GPT, it's not just manual fuzzing and scanning anymore. Pen testers use AI and Burp to generate smarter payloads, identify logic flaws, and even auto-write attack chains based on observed behavior. But attackers, they weaponize Burp with custom AI scripts, chaining together recon, fuzzing, and exploitation using plugins like Turbo Intruder, ActiveScan++, and AI-enhanced repeater logic to bypass WAF and exploit hidden endpoints automatically. And then there's AI-generated malware. No more static payloads. Polymorphic viruses built using AutoGPT, CodeNet, or hidden within macro-infected documents generated through AI-assisted frameworks, slipping past antivirus like smoke through cracks. Researchers use these to improve detection. Attackers use them to stay invisible. On the human front, AI deepens the deception. With tools like 11 Labs, Deepface Lab, and Synthesia, attackers create voice clones and deepfake videos. Combine that with AI-written phishing emails from Jasper or ChatGPT, and you've got social engineering at a whole new level. And finally, the exploitation process itself is being taken over. Tools like Autosploit, AI Metasploit, and VulnCheck AI can scan systems, select relevant CVEs, write working exploits, and deploy them in minutes. Hackers don't just attack anymore. They orchestrate campaigns powered by intelligent systems. This is hacking in the age of AI. Tools don't just assist, they evolve with you. And when wielded right, they give hackers, ethical or not, a level of speed, precision, and power that was unthinkable just a few years ago. So here's the truth. AI isn't just a tool. It's a turning point. Whether you're a red teamer, a bug bounty hunter, or someone just stepping into the cyber world, understanding AI is no longer optional. It's the new language of hacking, and those who speak it fluently will dominate the digital battlefield. AI can help you move faster, think smarter, and outpace any threat. But in the wrong hands, it becomes something else entirely. A shadow that strikes before you even see it coming. The choice is yours. Adapt and evolve, or get left behind. This is just the beginning. You've seen the tools, you've seen the power. But now it's time to go deeper. In the next video, we're diving straight into the heart of it. How to actually use AI to become a hacker. From building your first recon bot, to writing payloads, to automating your entire workflow. Step by step, real examples, real power. So if you're serious about learning, subscribe now. Because what's coming next could change how you hack forever. And if you enjoyed this, like, share, and comment down below. Let's build this hacker community together. See you in the next one.
All right. If you are going to go learn that stuff, watch the last Spider-Man movie. So Aunt May will explain to you that with great power does take ethical hacking.
Got to do it. That's the thing is you
Be
got to stay
one
ahead
of
of these things.
be one of the good guys.
Yeah.
Don't be part of the noise and the garbage. That's the shit you want to fix. Get rid of. Fix it.
Yeah. But as you can see, there are a lot of things to be concerned about when it comes to security. It's not just what it used to be. It used to be very one-dimensional what was coming at you, but now it can come from so many different ways. It's ridiculous.
When you have hacking techniques that actually get to know you psychologically, and they use synthetic voice to sound like a family member. My aunt got screwed of like $4,600 because she thought her nephew was, or her grandson was in a police station in Colorado. They played a copy of his voice. He even said Mime, like Canadian grandchildren call their grandmothers Mime. Mime, I'm in jail. Help me. And that's the only recording they gave her. And it was during shutdown, and the police station, their excuse was, we can't take credit cards. You have to pay for his bond in gift certificates, in gift cards. Yeah. My aunt, she's a little older. She got $4,600 worth of gift cards before they kept trying to squeeze for more. Oh, it's not enough. Finally, she called my mom, and I was like, Mom, tell her, stop.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, that's the thing is, and I hate those attacks for so many different reasons, but people who would initiate that kind of attack, knowing what they're doing to the people on both ends of that attack, that's,
What about the random call and your insurance is expired? And if you do actually talk to a human because you're pissed off about these calls and you want to tell them not to call you again, ironically, by responding to those calls, then they're capturing voice. They want to hear you say hello.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's also where, there are people who they can't see well enough to see their caller ID, for example. So the phone rings and they answer it because they assume it's somebody they want to talk to, and they just start talking. So they will give voice to those people, and they will have, voice recordings from that.
I used to be that dude in the old days. Like, I'm going to tell you, stop fucking calling me. Now I realize, like, spam and that shit, you need to just completely turn it off, block it from your vision.
Basically, black hole is what I consider it. Like anything that comes, it's like the spam folder. It's like I didn't even see it. It's like it came through it, like you sent it, but I didn't see it, and it went away.
And in the case of these security approaches, they don't build black holes, they build honeypots. And that's how they understand. Hackers are coming here, and hackers fooled you. Go to our fake server and hack our fake server. We're going to find out who you are.
Like the watering hole attack they were talking about earlier. It was an interesting one, going to the website, the common website where several people are going to be coming in from this group, and
welcome to Facebook hacking.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how it works on Facebook. You just being friends with the wrong people in certain situations.
You know who? Jenny.
Yes.
She's going to click on it again, and then she's going to click on it and send it to you.
You all
You're going to say,
have
stop sending me that shit, Jenny.
You all have a Jenny out there.
You all know Jenny.
At Hacker Arsenal 53, I like where you're going with this, and teaching them. I hope you do it responsibly. It is cool to show those who want to learn this kind of stuff. I'm happy to teach a kid how to script in Python to solve a problem.
Right.
But if that kid starts like Dr. Evil level, and you got to at least convince them that there's a good side to doing this. It's not all about making money.
Exactly. And understanding what those different levels are, whether it's the bug hunter or whether it's somebody who's, actively, in the corporate environment trying to protect against daily attacks. That's
the ones that are really going to fight this shit in the front lines are those kids that are curious that way. And Defcon, the whole thing that got me down this rabbit hole is this is a big event that for those in this kind of field, this is the NAM of equipment.
Yep, absolutely.
And Naomi Brockwell TV, a freshie for us, and she's fucking covering it. Th- this one, yeah, at Naomi Brockwell TV, killer shit about everything. I could do a couple of different nights on the stuff you are covering, but what I liked with this one, it was about the anti-surveillance technology,
Right,
which last couple weeks been a big news item out there when it came to the flock cameras and things like that. But we've been questioning that shit since Alexa and Siri and all these other things that came on the scene. Ring cameras, another big one in the last couple of months.
Yeah.
A lot of it.
I was living in an apartment, and I had somebody in the apartment across the hall from me had a Ring camera put in on their door. And it's like, are you kidding me?
You bastard!
It's like if I open my door, like your Ring camera is just like looking right into my house. It's like that is not exactly what that's for. Like you could put a Ring camera at the back door, but I mean, why do you need a Ring camera at your apartment door? I mean, that's ridiculous.
I just want to see your pretty face every time you come out the door. You could be a stalker.
I'll just come outside and give him the evil eye every time.
You might be related to Shrek.
Yeah, there's a good possibility.
So Naomi is going to show us the coolest anti-surveillance tools at DEF CON. These are some of the vendors, the guys that build the crazy gadgets. So cheap, so effective. You won't believe how inexpensive some of this shit is.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen some of the things that some people will try to do to get it past whether it's facial recognition or just to not be recognized or whatever. There's different things people will try, and we're not condoning that behavior. And obviously, you shouldn't be doing things where you have to hide your identity for these reasons.
Well, unless you are that dude with the license to kill and a 00 number. I mean, once in a while there is a James Bond, but
we don't usually talk about ourselves that much.
Yes, they haven't given me one of those licenses to talk.
No. Only for those who can handle the responsibility safely.
You got to have a really nice suit.
Yeah, that helps.
And if I go to DEF CON, I'm going in a nice suit.
Yeah, for sure.
Defcon is one of the largest and longest running hacker conferences in the world. It's held every August in Las Vegas since 1993, and it's a gathering of security researchers, hackers, tinkerers, journalists, curious weirdos, and quite a few feds, who all share an obsession with taking things apart and understanding how they really work. It's part conference and part underground bazaar, with dozens of villages dedicated to everything from lockpicking to car hacking to IoT to social engineering, plus talks, competitions, badge hacking, and a whole lot of soldering irons. I go to DEF CON every year because I think the people there are doing really cool and awesome stuff. And this year was no different. The Ludlow Institute hosted a hackathon at IoT Village where we had people hack into IoT devices like electronic basketball hoops, electric cars, smart lights, and other everyday connected junk, and we gave out prizes when people found anything interesting.
We're at IoT Village, the hardware hacking competition, where we are encouraging everybody to come out and hack some part basketball court, our RC cars. So you actually use a bus pirate to connect to the actual device, to communicate with it, see what type of data is going across. It has a display, it has a web interface as well. You can use it to scan Bluetooth and wireless networks. It's pretty much like the all-in-one device.
I also gave a presentation at DEF CON about the pervasive hidden surveillance that's been quietly integrated into our lives and how most people have no idea that it's even there. And I met some super cool people building tools to fight back. I recorded a handful of super quick interviews with some of the people I met, just to give you a taste of the kinds of engagement going on right now to push back against the destruction of privacy in society. If you've ever felt like the surveillance state is too big and too invisible to do anything about, these people are quietly proving otherwise.
My name is Colonel Panic. I make hardware that detects surveillance technologies.
I have one of your little tools. It's a flock detector. Walk me through how it works.
We're using promiscuous Wi-Fi on an ESP32 to get things from the Wi-Fi probes of the flock cameras so that we can passively detect them without touching them. And it's got a buzzer on it, so if you're driving by one, you can kind of get a beep. It's really good for detecting flock cams or other surveillance. So we have essentially 2 PCBs, a ESP32S3, and a buzzer. It's a tiny little computer on here. It's got a little bit of memory, and it's just programmed with my firmware that tells it to beep when it detects a certain. It's an OUI. That is the first 6 characters of Bluetooth MAC address. So it tells who the company is. Now, because of MAC address randomization, it's harder to just track by OUIs on certain devices. So now we're starting to look at some of the Bluetooth UUIDs and some of the deeper parts of Bluetooth that you can still passively detect. They, of course, know people are doing this, so it's really reliant on a lot of people who are actually actively going out and doing the research and then sharing that data that you can then use to figure out like what are they doing with this next and how can we then alter our detection methods.
And so you're saying that we need more researchers out there. We need people actually keeping up with this, and what kind of work can they be doing?
You could get Wiggle on your phone or even start to just look up war driving, and you'll be really surprised at how much surveillance you see. I wasn't aware of how much surveillance there was until I started war driving. And then I noticed that it's just everywhere, you know? And so it was alarming to me. And I'm like, wow, it would be interesting if we just made something that detected all this easily for the average person. If you want to get a hold of one of these, you can go to colonelpanic.tech. I even sell the PCBs for cheaper, or if you really want to do this, you don't even need the device. You can just buy this component and this component, and you can easily see on my art where the wiring is, and you can just wire it up yourself, and it's going to cost you less than $10.
It's such a cool, tiny little gadget that could be so powerful for helping people protect themselves. I'm going to be plugging this in, and I'm going to go detect me some flock cameras.
Awesome.
Thanks so much.
I am Cooper Quinton, aka Cyber Tiger. I am a senior staff technologist at EFF, where I work on a number of things, including Ray Hunter, the open source MC catcher detection hardware and software. Ray Hunter is open source software which runs on a mobile hotspot that you can buy for $20 to $40 on eBay and Amazon. And so we've been able to write software that takes a look at the control traffic going on between your modem and the tower and looks at what signals the cell phone tower is sending you. And it looks for signatures or signs of a stingray. A stingray is a tool that's used by police, which is a fake cell tower, and it tricks your phone into connecting to it so that it can find your identity, your IMSI, which is your unique identifier for your SIM card. Once it finds that, it can be used by law enforcement to locate you. It can be used by law enforcement or criminals or spies to listen to your phone calls and text messages, or it can be used by scammers, spammers, or anyone else. So it's really easy for someone to set up a fake cell tower and say, hey, all cell phones in the area, please connect to this tower, it's very important. And so all the phones will do that. So we built Ray Hunter to try to get a better idea of how often this tech was being used in the US, how prevalent it was, and how exactly it worked, because there's been a lot of obfuscation of what exactly the attacks are that are taking place and how we can better secure our phones against this technology. One of our big goals was to make counter surveillance device that was cheap, accessible, and easy to run, not just for hackers, but for everyone. You can go to eff.org/RayHunter. So once you have the hardware, you can plug it into your computer with a USB cable or connect it over Wi-Fi. You can download our software, and there's an installer there you can run. Get this little device here. It'll have a little green line at the top. If that line turns red, that means that Ray Hunter has found something it considers suspicious. And then you can connect to it, download the PCAPs. So a PCAP is a network traffic packet capture. that you can view in programs like Wireshark. You can download the file, send it to us, and we'll take a look at it and tell you what we think.
This is the Biscuit Ultra. It's designed by a guy named Hedge. It's used for ward driving. It also ward drives for flock cameras, Bluetooth devices, and it has a counter anti-surveillance feature. First, it records all devices in the vicinity that it can find, and if it detects the same device within a certain interval, then it alerts you that you may be having a tail, and save it to an SD card for further analysis. You could scan for APs, this Wi-Fi only ward drive. You have Bluetooth and flock, everything, or anti-surveillance mode, and checks for any Axon security cameras in the area, and puts them in the map where it detects that they're located.
Where can someone purchase this?
Google Biscuit Ultra or Biscuit Pro. He makes 2 versions.
What is this device?
This LilyGo T-Deck, and in here I installed the Defcon 34 Mesh-tastic, which is LoRa, but it's configured for the different channels for Defcon. They have a web flasher that you use.
And so you just flash new software on there, is that the idea? Oh, cool.
So once you flash it, you could enable Bluetooth. There's a Mesh-tastic app, and then you pair it with your device. Yeah. Then you could use your phone to type and receive and send and receive messages. This is another Mesh-tastic LoRa device. These are 2 separate devices. They paired to both of my phones, so I could either control the channels with my phone or with a device. So you would see the conversation on your phone like this. It's cool because it's off-grid, meaning that it's a mesh network operating around 915 megahertz in the US, and it goes from node to node, meaning that this device goes to the nearest device it sees and speak even across to different hotels and different areas.
These are the kinds of shenanigans at Defcon. This is a backpack with a portable 3D printer. Beautiful.
It also looks for devices that follow you. So like if somebody put like an AirTag or something, it looks for like signal strength and time. Sweet. Also we'll look for like Bluetooth and Wi-Fi probe requests for flock cameras as well.
Oh, hell yeah.
You can click on them and it gives more information about like each tracker. It'll also sniff for probe requests to see what your root exposure is.
Ah, sweet.
Oh, so like you can put your phone by it and then to see what it's putting out.
All your networks that it's been on.
My main takeaway from this year's Defcon is that no one is coming to save us. If we want to understand what is going on in our tech, we have to break it open ourselves. The cell networks aren't going to get more secure because a carrier decides to be nice. And Flock isn't going to stop blanketing our neighborhoods with cameras because a community asked politely. The tools that protect us are being built by a small, scrappy community of hackers and hobbyists working on shoestring budgets, often in their spare time. Tools like a $20 hotspot flashed with Ray Hunter and a $10 ESP32 that beeps when you drive past a Flock camera, and a pager-sized gadget that warns you when the same car has been following you for too long. I love seeing this stuff, and if you have anything that you've prototyped, come show me at a conference sometime. The surveillance in our lives is pervasive, but it's also detectable. And the more of us who are actually looking, the more empowered we can all be to protect ourselves in the digital age. Ludlow Institute is a non-profit research and media institute focused on advancing freedom through technology. We teach you how to use tech that works for you, not against you. If you'd like to support our efforts, visit ludlowinstitute.org/donate, or simply just share some of our content and spread the word. We definitely need more people in this fight. And check out the t-shirt designs in our merch shop. I saw Afro Man recently, and he was a big fan of this one.
Get a warrant.
Oh my God, Naomi, I'm smitten. I think I have a security, privacy crush on you. Your mission is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I support. I want to know more. This is one of the coolest, like, IT channels that we found this year.
Yeah. Now the only thing is, where you are, you're not going to find much driving around. Like, you can go war driving around 20 miles around you. You're not going to find nothing.
Well, if I have some of those gadgets, I'll at least know what my devices are broadcasting to. Which, you know, half of that is knowing what you're putting out there from your
exposure.
devices, and the other half is like what's out there. Wow, I just connected to a network.
Yeah, out of nowhere. Good stuff.
Yeah, I love the mission, uh, the coverage there. DEFCON, there's so much that goes on there. This was just the anti-surveillance stuff, but it was the one that like I've been digging into the last couple of weeks to learn that like cell tower in the middle kind of thing that's going on there. You deserve to have a beep on your device to let you know that something's happening. It's like getting a radar detector, which technically was illegal in some states, but in other states, you have the right to know if you're going to get radared. And with the phones, it's a whole bigger radar. They're not just checking your speed anymore.
Yeah. With one of my dad's cars, it was the radar detector was actually mounted in the car, mounted in the hood, right? So it's not something you just turn on or turn off up in the dash. So like if you drove into a state where it's illegal, it's like what do you want me to do?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And he was devoted to knowing. Like I don't want a ticket.
Absolutely. He would definitely be on board. He was always a gadget guy too, my dad was. So like I have like all kinds of gadgets that he picked up over the years and he was very much a technology guy. Like even for an older guy, he was definitely way bigger into technology than most people of his cohort, of his age.
I actually inherited my radar from my dad and my GPS in the 90s. He had the cool GPS and the cool radar. And when they got him a new one, I was like, yay, I got my daddy's GPS.
Yep. One thing I would say about the about a conference like that, if I went there, I would not have a laptop, a tablet, or a phone anywhere on me.
Burners.
I would
You'd
have a
have
note.
you'd have burners if
No,
you
I
were
would have a
going
note.
there.
I would have a notepad and a pencil. I'm gonna write shit down. I'm gonna take it home, and then I'm gonna type it in on something because I'm not getting hacked by anything over there because
Hey,
everyone's trying to hack everything.
even a notepad can get hacked.
I mean, I'm not writing anything important in the notepad. I'm just jotting and doodling, but no one's hacking my shit.
Well, if only you know your penmanship, then technically you're unhackable.
Believe me, that's actually something I've gone with in the past. Like I used to write, like I'd have ideas, like just random little ideas for an invention or something, and I would write it down. But I would write it down so small that, like, when I looked back, I have bad handwriting as it is, and then I would look back.
You're a micro writer. I
I did at one
I
point.
can't write small. I want to like use the whole page.
Oh,
for
I hate using the whole page. You would, if I had a whole page, you would find like the tiniest writing in like a corner, like working its way down. Especially if I'm doing things like, I don't know, writing down things for a video game, for example, something that's not important. It's not a list that I have to.
It's a note.
Whatever, but
yeah,
it's
I'm jotting down a mind.
Exactly. But I mean, I will find scraps of paper like that, and I'll like hieroglyphics. I'm like looking, trying to figure out what exactly this, and I'll figure out. Oh yeah, okay, that's that.
Yeah, you left yourself a fortune cookie.
Yeah. Another one was that at one point I had a dream journal where I had just a notebook that I kept near the bed. I was actually under the bed on the side so that if I woke up in the middle of the night after having a dream, I could just roll over and like write something down real quick so that I would remember it in the morning. And looking back at that, like I captured a lot of chunks of a lot of things. But it's all
You're
so
studying.
random.
You're studying yourself when you do
Yeah.
that.
And this is from decades ago that I started that, but that was something where I came across it in this move as I'm going through things. I find things from 20 and 30 years ago, and I'm just like, I remember that. I remember that.
We definitely got to cover dreams one night. I got a consultant named Dream. And it is IT related.
Absolutely.
AI hallucinates not. Does AI dream of sheep who can't dream of sheep? Because they're the questions.
They dream of electric sheep, but did they count?
Yes.
That's the question.
Well, if the AI programmers programmed them right. So at Naomi Brockwell TV, love this one. I got to go to DEFCON and at least get like this coverage. I'm going through all these videos. Naomi, you are a chip off the old block.
Good stuff.
And for our last one, after DEFCON's over, and hackers have learned some things, and like You know how kids who party after like spring break and they're on the plane going home, and I suspect they just were testing something. They weren't trying to do anything necessarily bad.
If I can quote South Park, you kids screw around too much.
I like to believe I screw around just enough.
Just enough, yeah. There has to be balance.
This is at Deviant Olam. He's one of the speakers at the Defcon and one of the instructors, and he's going to give his assessment on this situation, which I thought was funny as hell. But
I think I can see part of his assessment from his body language right there.
Yeah.
and I concur.
We're going to have to get Glenn to look stern after you do this.
Oh, if you get the eyebrow, oh, you're in real trouble now.
I almost got the beard. I want that salt and pepper.
You did what?
At least they got a badge.
We don't need stinking badges.
Yeah. Prove it.
Yes, I've heard about the flight incident. Yes, it is real. No, you shouldn't do shit like that. Hey, everyone. Hope you had a good hacker summer camp. I certainly did. Right up until the last day, a few weird things. Well, anyway, not nearly as weird as the last day that some people are having. If you're not familiar, we'll talk about it in a bit, but yeah, you'll be familiar soon. The internet's abuzz about what some people, allegedly who were coming home from DEF CON, did, allegedly, on an aircraft. Not at all smart. No alleged involved in the stupidity if this is how the story went. But I am still here, as you can see. We are still at it. We are running DEF CON training. If you're not familiar with DEF CON training, oh my God. So our week, more than a week now for Hacker Summer Camp, it started out with Black Hat, right? So you got Black Hat USA down at the Mandalay Bay. So we did Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, 4 days of training. Then you have Wednesday, Thursday of Black Hat, which we participate in that. Also bouncing over to B-Sides. I got over to B-Sides. I saw Michael Laufer and the Fourth East Vinegar closeout talk. Just bang, 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 move, on to the next hotel, on to the next thing to get to DEF CON proper. And the main DEF CON event over the weekend, which was amazing as always. We ran a vendor area. I don't know if you saw that, beaming our big messaging up on the walls. I think a lot of other vendors going to take my idea next year. They're like, wow, that's really smart. We're just allowed to do that. As my buddy Easy says, yeah, you can just do things. Did you know you can just do things? Go for it. I had such a great time meeting so many of you. I didn't get to see everything I wanted to during the day. During the day was a mess, always is a mess. Give yourself permission to just be in the moment is the best thing I can tell you. Just have the experience you're having. And if you're missing something, apologize to the person later, catch the video later. It was at night that I had a great, great time. There were lots of great parties, pool parties, sex parties, meal parties, dinner parties. Oh my God, so many freaking meals with so many good people. The QueerCon event. I mean, I spent a lot of my time at QueerCon, honestly, when I was at DEF CON, which also had food and parties. They had the party, they had the cheese con. Queers love that cheese. ACAB includes lactose intolerance. Don't forget. Yeah, so everyone who shared stories, everyone who shared hellos, everyone who shared stickers and awesome badge projects and hacking tools, it was so great to have everyone here with us. We had almost the whole polycule out here, obviously. I miss you, Wesley. I miss you, Sarah. We had just so many good people sharing so many moments, including, again, all of you who came up to me and were so, so sweet and kind and wonderful. One dude, like Brian, came up to me, who was a kid who was out there with his resume. He was hunting for opportunities. So many of you come up to me and tell me about the opportunities you have found because you are part of this community and you've come here to be with us. I love that. He was at his resume, and by the end of the con, he had it folded in half and a sign that he'd made that said, everything checked off my list except for meet Deviant Olaf. And he did. And it was an absolute treat. Everything was great. And I will say that the one exception, Canoe Pix was the first one who pointed this out to me, but a lot of you are sending it around now. If you haven't seen the stories, yes, a group of people allegedly from DEF CON were coming home on a Delta flight from Vegas to Atlanta and allegedly were doing shenanigans to the Wi-Fi, the in-flight Wi-Fi. They were de-authing it and standing up rogue access points. Now, the news and the media is reporting this as like a Wi-Fi pineapple. Whether that's what they used, whether they, who knows? The news has a common tactic of like calling anything they don't know, like the most common name. For a while, everything was a flipper, even if it was like a Proxmark. It was like with electronic music. When nobody knows about electronic music, everything is techno. But it's, there's a lot of genres of music. So was this really a Wi-Fi pineapple? Was it a D-Stake type DAuth device? I don't know. Did they intend to do all this bullshit? Or were they just idiots and curious about a thing they just bought? I don't know. There were years in the past, remember you had to like log in and change credentials on your Pineapple, and a lot of people didn't. They just bought them and had them turned on. And then other people started logging in with the default creds and messing with people's gear. Because if you don't know how something works, be careful when you dive into it. Hey, Editing Dave here. Had to jump in with a couple extra updates because, boy, the information on this is flying fast. And a lot of it's contradictory at this point. So, one, did, quote, federal agents meet the plane at the gate? Lots of people are saying that these comments on the internet were not true. Lots of people are saying, I was on this flight, this Delta to Atlanta flight, which was apparently impossibly delayed, like delayed almost a day. At that point, just fucking cancel it. Just call it a new flight. What are you doing? But there are literally people saying, I was on the plane, I got off the plane, no weirdness happened in the terminal. Other people, however, are saying, no, it wasn't that plane. It was their next plane, because there's now an allegation that, again, none of this is confirmed by me. I've talked to some people that I know who have heard this. I haven't heard it firsthand. The allegation is that people might have, quote, gotten away with it if they hadn't done it again on the next leg of their journey. And that's how like people referenced down like which passengers this could be. It becomes a much smaller number at that point. Is that true? I don't know. Maybe we'll get a statement. What does seem to be true is that this was probably not a case of, lol, oops, I bought a thing in the vendor area and don't know how it works. Why do I say that? Because if you saw some of those news articles, what they did, the name of the fake network that was being stood up was called Delta Wi-Fi Fast, which is kind of one of those things that's how you name a fake network if you want to deliberately trick people into trying to connect to it. So yeah, this does sound like people who are doing something a little more intentionally and not stupidly. I don't know what's going to happen. Again, look for Snubs or other people to maybe do a report on this in a few days or a week or so when better information comes out. But yeah, don't do this shit. It's not smart, man. I get it. It's tempting to play with your gear. It's not tempting to like literally hack an aviation system in the frickin' sky. That's not tempting to anyone, I think, at all with a brain. But it is tempting when you first get your kit and your gear. You like want to go try it. And we talk about this in our classes. We talk about this about you get lock picks and you get bypass tools and you start like, I can pick that lock. I can pop that open. I can slip through that door. Could I do it? Be freaking smart. We talk about this all the time in our trainings. Again, we're running a training right now at Defcon trainings. Don't sleep on Defcon trainings, by the way. If you don't have the money and your company won't send you to Black Hat at a posh place, like stick around after Defcon. There are multiple classes going on. There are Defcon trainings around the world, Middle East, Southeast Asia, you name it. I'll drop links below to all of that. But like the point of training is to learn how to use your tools properly. When we run even just basic lockpick stuff, we tell people, now don't immediately go and start picking the first lock you encounter. Don't pick your own front door. Don't start opening up locked panels in your hotel room at night. Learn how to use your gear in a safe, controlled way before you take it out in the field. That applies to firearms. It applies to fires in the kitchen. It applies to any skill you want to have. Please look out for each other, take training, and do it properly. Be fucking smart. Skill yourselves up. Watch out for the younger ones among us. Give their enthusiasm a healthy outlet to go through. That's what Defcon is about. It's about giving people a romper room playground to get excited about new things, to learn how to try them out, and to do it before they get back home at the office, where you can actually get yourself in some trouble. You want to get in trouble at the office, like, take a pen testing training. I'll teach you how to break in. All right. There'll probably be more updates later, more updates about hotels where I stayed and I won't next year, restaurants where I ate and I might not next year. Again, food and dinners were incredible. I'll give you my steak review. I'm going to do like a tier list of hotels to stay at and steak places to eat at for your future Defcons and Vegas needs. But those will be other update videos in the future. In the meantime, just get home safely, unpack your stuff, wash yourselves off, see each other on the internet. And in the meantime, let's not see each other in the headlines, okay? Watch out for each other, be smart, and stay safe out there.
Don't do dumb stuff. Yes.
I like that little click. Not only is Olam a smart security advisor, he's probably a Yelp reviewer. And I bet you that steak kicked ass if
Oh, some of those steaks look good. Yeah. Delicious.
He did a good job of explaining the responsible side of what DEF CON is all about, and it is that kind of like sandbox for creative young thinkers, especially. It's those hackers that are cooking up tomorrow's code.
Yeah. And giving them a healthy outlet, as you said, a healthy way to utilize those skills to explore that skill set.
I'd rather do it that way than they do it on the back streets like gangster style. And okay, we're going to hack governments.
And don't take the tools and hack the first lock you see either. Like you said, you can get yourself in a lot of trouble real fast.
A really smart kid nowadays, especially 13, 14, who can think faster than the adults do in this stuff, is easily corruptible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You remember the old movie Hackers, right?
Yeah.
Hack the planet. A bunch of young hackers.
Was it Robert? No, I was thinking Sneakers. Robert Redford.
Yeah.
No,
this was actually Angelina Jolie. Angelina Jolie as a young lady. Yeah.
Yeah, Angelina, like before she she went to that psychiatric ward.
Sure. But good movie. And again, just the idea of how all this hacking was done then, and the same kind of techniques and all of that, it hasn't changed that much. I mean, a lot of the when it comes to try to physically penetrate a building, if you can just get the people to let you in. I mean, it's very easy, really.
The objectives haven't really changed. It's still a password that needs to get cracked, except now it's 128-bit, 256-bit encrypted.
So no one's going to remember it.
The challenge hasn't changed drastically. The complexity of the password is what's changed.
Mm-hmm. The real question for me was also how hackable have biometrics become? Like, are biometrics still one of the best ways of securing things?
They're more secure than other solutions, but they're not unhackable. The idea that we know it's you because your fingerprint, no, that shit's hackable.
Yeah. Well, also you could damage your fingerprint and lock yourself out of your shit. So there is that too.
Never mind retinal scans and whatever's going on there. They don't know how to properly capture it.
And that's one of those things, again, it's everything, every system for security that you can put up can be bypassed in some way. And that's just part of the way these things work. And we understand that.
The moment you create a lock, there is a key that gets created with it. And sometimes that key gets forged and counterfeited and becomes a skeleton key. I can open every lock.
Exactly. But yes, use your skills wisely, but also encourage people to use the skills in the right ways. Give them, creative outlets for these skills. I like that.
You got a better chance of convincing like a young coding buck going to this than you're going to that 40, 50-year-old, like those programmers, they tend to be in their mindset, whether they're good guys or bad guys. They decide that shit by the time they hit their 40s and 50s. But when they're fresh out of college like that, they get a much better job with benefits, and you don't have to run from the feds.
Well, one of those booths also were set up, come in, hack our, basketball shooting thing, hack our remote control cars. I mean, that will draw some people in, because that's like, oh, that's a challenge and it's fun and, low stakes. I'm not going to jail if I hack into this guy's thing.
Glenn's gonna go run to the closest arcade and just get a bunch of fucking tickets, and I'm gonna get that big prize. Watch.
I did, but I actually did it by throwing the ball through the hoop because I'm actually pretty good. Do that.
Yeah, see, my hand-eye coordination sucks, but my hacking skills are pretty good.
That's the thing. It was like all the different sports and activities that I did over the years. Like they all same thing with all the instruments. Like learning multiple instruments made it easier to learn more instruments. Same thing happened with like sports and activities. Like, whether it's bowling or softball or whatever, just like being as big as I am gives me a natural advantage in a lot of different things anyway. And then on top of that, just the way I notice things also kind of leads into that. So I just kind of pick things up. People just get mad at me. Like, people who are afraid, like, why are you good at this too? Like, I don't know.
Why you got to be a quick learner?
Yeah.
I'm learning at my pace, and I got to be next to Glenn. He's fucking up the average on the class.
Fucking up the average was what I was famous for.
Hey, I'm gonna have to get into the 90s to keep up with you.
Yeah. But hey, I love bringing people along too, bringing everybody along for the journey. One of the other things I was always good at was trying to explain things to people. Like if people are having difficulty with things, like when it came to mentoring and, specifically, I was never specifically a mentor, but I was always.
That's the teacher in you. You were brought up by teachers.
Yeah. It's genetic in us for sure. And also, as tech support, I mean, that's another thing. Like, I'm not just fixing your problems. I have to help you.
Hand holding at that. I'm not just teaching you. I'm actually holding your hand as we get past the scary part. And your Windows is back. Yeah. There's your files. It's not the end of the world.
There's times where it's, the fifth time I come over to feed you a fish, I'm going to teach you how to fish, like let's skip this part where every time I come do this, I can show you to do this. And then we'll figure out the next layer of where we're going to have problems.
The only time you'll do it 5 times plus, it's family members. It's friends. It's like, damn, I'm going to have to fish this every fucking time for you because.
Or it's the boss, if it's the boss, and he needs you to show him 5 times, you show him 5 times.
Well, if he's the one paying me, I'll show you every fucking time. If that's
right. Now, like we said, you're not gonna say now, like we did last time. We're gonna go click here and click. Now, let's leave that away. No, let's be nice. Let's be good about it.
It is a test of whether you're a good teacher. If you can get that boss to actually. Like, ooh, thank you, Glenn. I can now fish for myself. If you're worth your fucking paycheck.
I do have one little quick story, which was you remember the old PCMCIA cards, right? When laptops were.
Are you kidding? They were the white ones that were cool because those VESA slots sucked.
And somebody had one of the network cards where there was a small it's basically like a small USB adapter, but you could force it in upside down. Yeah. You shouldn't be able to, but you can, right? So,
I'm not saying you can't do it, but I might have tried it too, and it didn't work.
So he manages to get a card. Like this is like a big executive in a company where I'm working doing tech support, and he can't connect to the network. So fine, I'm going to go over there and check it out. So I go check it out, and he managed to get this thing in upside down or backwards, like where you literally can't unless you force it. So he managed to force it, but it looked from on first glance, everything looks fine. So you look at that, you look through the software, all the settings look fine, blah, blah, blah. You're troubleshooting otherwise. Then you see what the problem is, right? But the thing is, while I'm doing this troubleshooting, he's in here having a meeting with someone else, right? Which is fine. Like they're doing their.
So you're trying to be nonchalant, like I'm fixing his computer.
I'm being invisible. I'm just working on the computer. Like it doesn't have anything to do with them, and I'm just doing my thing. So I'm doing my thing. I figure out the problem. I get him started again because I saw that he managed to force it upside down. I managed to take it out, correct it, get it back the right way, get it in, get him back logged in.
You really do have eagle eyes because sometimes you can't tell for shit. Like you got to pull that USB out and like, oh, it's broken now.
Yes, exactly. And we managed to get, I managed to get it out, flipped over, plugged in, working properly. And I was going to revisit him later to talk about how it happened, right? Because there's the whole, why is it broken? Well, it isn't broken. Like, why wasn't it?
It's not my fault.
Well, that was the thing. It's like, I said, okay, you're all set now. And I showed him that he was able to get to what he needed to. And so he stops what he was doing with his other person there and said, "What was the problem?" And so now I have to diplomatically explain how we couldn't get logged in. And so I basically walked through, well, the way this was like,
you pulled the absolute Glenn. You gave him the full description, huh?
it was actually kind of upside down. And sometimes, you can't really tell. It was for, and so like, as I was about to walk away, the person he was having the meeting with, it was like, you were going to let him slide on that, weren't you? Because like they saw that I was about to walk out and just leave it at that. And I said, I was going to circle back and we were going to cover it later, but he wanted the explanation now. So like we got that whole conversation out there, but it was, and he, the guy who asked me, well, what was the problem? Like we had a very, very good relationship from that time forward. He understood that
the fact that you dealt with it quick and elegantly is
that was one of those things.
You just made my job so much easier. Thank you, Glenn.
And
you get a bonus.
He managed to force that thing in there, and I mean, he just must have been like, God damn it, and he managed, but it doesn't work that way. So.
It sucked with old plugs because you could plug shit in wrong in the old days, and people forcing, like the rule with forcing is if you have to force it into a computer, you're gonna break that computer,
or you already did break that shit.
Yeah, and now like the USBs, universal, doesn't matter. I like that. They got smarter over time when it came to certain plugs.
You remember bent pins? I mean, I remember the high density video cards when they first went to the Hydra.
I stopped doing CPU upgrades because fucking bent pins. Like, dude, you bend one fucking pin in a fucking CPU and
it's over, Johnny.
Yeah, I don't want to be responsible for that. Get a CPU guy to do that shit.
Well, they did also, upgrade the sockets now, so like zero force insertion. You like drop it in there and then lock
it.
Yes, but
I'm okay with pulling it out and putting it in now, but.
And on that note,
the 90s sucked.
But just that quick little story. I'm sorry if we went over, but that was, one of those things where when it comes to whether it's hacking, whether it comes to instructions, getting people on the right page, training people on how to use their equipment. I mean, all of these things are things that are important, and understanding like those are important skills to have. So being able to teach people, being able to help people to get better at what they're doing is a very important skill set to master. And it's useful in any arena in life, really, but especially in IT.
And part of ethical hacking is to actually teach others, like, this is a vulnerability, this is a weakness. So if you do answer that phone and say hello, nowadays
you're inviting a problem.
If you don't recognize the caller ID, you probably shouldn't start that way. I know that's what we're used to, but security-wise, it's not the best approach anymore.
Or take a page out of my book. Don't ever answer the phone.
That makes it a lot easier.
So much easier. I have to deal with zero problems when it comes to voice calls. I will answer the phone for mom, though. I mean, that's just a given,
Oh, I get it telepathically from moms. Like, wow, what's
Yep.
what, mom?
Mom's calling about something. Let me get my phone.
And also, Ange, there's certain people that will communicate to you that way.
Yep. But like Ange and I, we usually just text, so it works out fine. But I mean, this was an unusual, not Thursday IT, but it was a fun one anyway, and an important topic. So too important to wait till Thursday.
Yeah. We hit a nail, not necessarily on the Thursday head, but damn close.
Strike while the iron's hot.
And Ange is cooking up a muckery for the whole week, so tune in on Thursday. You might be getting some metal. Hint, hint.
Nice. Like it.
I didn't say any more.
Lips are sealed.
And we'll be back next Thursday. No gig next Thursday, right?
Nope, should be good.
Summer's coming to the end.
Yeah. Tapering down, but still busy for another couple of months.
Yeah, you still got more sunburn to work on.
Yeah. I mean, That's some sunburn.
Yeah. You are going to guide my sleigh tonight.
And it really does highlight even though it's only a tiny bit of stubble, it's like that's pretty white.
I've been growing it for you. Ho ho ho, motherfuckers.
I'm kind of lighting it from below too, so that might be accenting it.
Yeah, the lighting is awesome. I like the new place.
Thank you. Love it.
So we'll be back next week, and tune in every fucking day. There's a lot of surprises coming.
What else were you doing? Tune in. Be here.
Yeah. Night, everyone.
See ya.
We cover digital audio workstations and music tools. We explore theory, gear, and 82. How to weigh and compose, and the art of arranging. Taking a look at AI and how the times have changed. On a PC or a Mac, and even with a mobile device, we'll be talking about it all every Thursday night. From software to plugins and sys that entice. Dive deep into tech and let creativity take flight. Talkin IT. We're talking IT. Come and join in and have some fun. It's highly educational with a lot to learn. From bedroom producers to seasoned pros, we're breaking it down so knowledge grows. Whether you're a DJ or a beat making wizard, we got the tips and tricks to make your sound sizzle. Mixing and mastering, that's our jam. With the tutorials and tips on how much rap. Get the best quality from your setup and gear. Tune in every week and lend us your ear. We're talking IT. Come and join in and have some fun. It's highly educational with a lot to learn. We're talking